Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real, where each week we try to keep you up to date on the latest in the world of TV and movies. I go by the name of Everborn Saga. Look it up, everbornsaga.com. And joining me today is my brother from another mother, Mr. TKO Asante. I'm sorry, TK Kirkland. I couldn't help it.
He almost made it through that without some slander. It's all right, man. I understand.
And we got
is he a stand-up comedian to you? Is he a funny guy here to make you laugh?
Am I here to make you? Do I look funny to you?
Is he a clown? Huh? Does he amuse you?
Am I here to amuse you, sir?
I mean, kind of. That's
what's
kind
going
of
on, man?
And we got OG TK Cole in the building already.
OG, what's going on, man?
By the way, I am not going to say why. But you had a lot of Batman talk, and I understand why now. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything else but that.
All we'll say is your opinion is no longer valid, sir. Specifically on Batman. But yes, today it's been good. Thank you so much for having me as usual. It's been a good week. I was actually on Fun Speculation yesterday. A little bit of a preamble to the talk we'll be having here. So salute to Mav and the rest of the crew. I got to hang out with Mav and Psychonauts for a day with their Fun Pop show.
Yeah,
and,
I did that
they
show
send
once.
their regards.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And then we have my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson. How are you, sir?
How are you doing? Ready to get this thing on, man. Let's get it on. Ready to roll.
Ding ding.
All right, and
Round one.
we got White Hawk 1188 in the building, who apparently just watched Black Widow and says it is big trash. So
I agree.
It's the least favorite Marvel movie, and he's seen Captain Marvel, so that's saying something.
Even worse than the Dark World?
Question. Trash.
All right, so we got a lot of topics today, right? So I just want to get
never
through
gave that his money.
I want to get through what we are watching. So talk to me, Mr. Johnson. You go first.
You know what we watching? What we talking about? What if? Star-Lord. That is Peter Quill.
No, we're gonna get to that later. I want to know.
Don't start the slanders talk already. Come on now,
sir.
I've been watching the back of my eyelids, honestly, with this new job, bro. I don't watch much.
Oh man, he's yeah.
Hey, onward and upward, man. That's good. At least you know you're doing something productive. Good.
All right, so Mr. TK Zero Asante. What are you watching this week?
I've actually, believe it or not, been doing a lot of DC watching this week, believe it or not. I actually caught up on the latest season of Titans. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. That's all I'll say.
4 episodes in?
Yes, they're on episode 4. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. That's all I will say. I have also been watching Superman and Lois, another DC show. That show, I'll say, if you liked the run of Superman is Dead in the 90s, the comic books, back when all of a sudden the young Superman showed up and this Superman showed up, Black Superman with the black suit and all that.
I hated that run of Superman.
You hated that run of Superman? Oh, that's just terrible.
The reign of Superman, you didn't like that?
Yeah, the various Supermen.
I did not watch the animated movie, but I remember in the 90s when Superman had the mullet or the shag, I should say. And when they brought out
wearing the black
Steel,
suit. Steel, that's right. Yeah. So they've used
Steel, man.
So
don't slander Steel.
Exactly.
Even though that Shaq movie was trash. But
so
LeVar,
so until recently, right? I would say Shaq slandered the name of Steel, that full potential of that character. Superman and Lois redeems Steel. That's all I will say. If you haven't seen it, go watch Superman and Lois. It redeems Steel in the best way possible. That's
How many
what
episodes are they into that show?
Episode 15 episodes so far. I think Steel is about Steel is about like the whole Steel storyline gets not buttoned up, but you get to the main crux of it. I think episode 6, episode 7, something like that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I
I've
thought
only
they were
seen
gonna
like the
go.
first 3 episodes.
I thought they were gonna go for less episodes and higher quality, but apparently not. All right.
If you haven't seen it, you can't really say if it's high
I
quality.
I was
watched the
about to
first
say.
episode. I watched the first episode. It didn't.
And the
didn't
kids are
drag
good.
me.
Who says like Mr. Creator himself? You're telling me that every show is determined by its pilot? Get out of
No,
here!
I'm looking
That's
at
ridiculous.
the rest of the things on the CW, but that's neither here nor there.
And that's also ridiculous because that's also
you're
early
asking
slander
what
because
you
that whole show was written and made for HBO Max and then moved to CW when it was
air
done.
on the CW? Yes or no?
But it wasn't made for the CW.
Where did it
none
air
of the
first?
none of the CW
It
like
aired
none
on
of the
CW first. Yes
none
or no?
of the CW Brain Trust.
I'm only
None of the
asking you a yes or no
CW
question.
Brain Trust had anything to do with it except they received it and aired it. That's it.
Hence, it's a CW show. Yes or no?
Oh, get out of here with that.
Okay.
It is not CW quality. It is way better
All right.
than I'm a proud CW
It's
show
probably one of the
watcher.
best-
This is better than that.
Best CW shows I've seen. I only seen like
It is
2
one.
episodes.
It's way better than any CW show. Trust me. If you
Even
like
Smallville?
Steel, watch
I
this
used to
show.
like
It's
Smallville.
really good.
The
I used to like
first
Smallville, too.
episode- The first
Stop with the
episode-
Don't
Hold
blame
on,
people.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. The
I'm
first
listening.
episode of Arrow was better than the first episode of Superman and Lois. Yes or no?
No.
I'm gonna
No.
say yes. But anyway,
That's
I never
absolute
watched
garbage.
Arrow, so I
I've
can't
seen
really
both of them, and I'll say no. And I watched
I've
all.
seen-
Did you watch every episode of Arrow? I've seen
I've
every
seen- I've
episode of
seen
Arrow.
Every episode of Arrow, yes.
And the first
I might
episode
never
was
see-
hot trash. It was hot. It grew on you.
that.
It didn't start
believe
good.
that.
It grew on you.
All
But
right.
continue. Go ahead.
All right. So hold on.
Everyone
So,
should stop listening to
Hey, so
Everborn and
far-
go watch Superman and Lois.
Good
Continue.
evening or good morning from wherever in the world you are.
Where are you
Mm-hmm.
from? Where Zophai? Tell us where you're from.
Yeah,
All
please tell us where you're from.
But White Hawk says, "Have we seen Manifest?" I have been watching Manifest. Yes.
As have I.
But I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in, and with
I'm
all the
season
buzz
2,
it's
episode
getting,
4.
with all the buzz it's getting, people are saying Netflix may bring it back. So, and they did
Yeah.
it for Lucifer. So don't give up.
Yeah.
hope. Just
Yeah,
send,
and a bunch of people like you and me are watching it. So there is that rumor that it's coming back. So, hey,
send-
let's hope.
tweet Netflix that you want it, and
Yeah,
things
make a
like
buzz about it. People like that. Yeah.
He's in the
There you
UK, working the
Ah.
night shift. Okay,
All right.
I mean that's still kind of nighttime, but I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, but it's the AM, bro. The AM
go.
is
The morning
AM.
hustle. I used to do the night shift.
It's in the
I do
wee
not.
hours of the morning.
That's right.
I know that life, but I'm not about that life no more.
I appreciate you
Me neither.
watching the show, while you're at work.
Yes, we appreciate you. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about is something that I asked us all to give a shot today before we came on, because it is like an interactive movie, maybe even the future of what movies could be. And that is, or no, okay,
I feel like it
interactive
needs
art,
better
interactive
graphics.
storytelling. Yes, it does. That will happen in the future. But I'm saying this idea
come on,
of
son.
hold on a minute. Let me do the setup, and then you can shit on it.
Then you can
Let me just
We
slander.
are in the future as far as
All right.
graphics, bro.
So
Uh-huh.
the thing is, this is from Annapurna Interactive, as in Annapurna Pictures, the film house who does lots of artsy fartsy Oscar contender work, and they're
This is not
doing
that.
this. They're doing this game, and they got an all-star cast. This is Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, Willem Dafoe, and it is one of those time loop stories where it's called 12 minutes. You have 12 minutes to sort of figure out what's happening, and you do sort of trial and error. And there's someone that's going to come in and either kill you or your wife, and you have 12 minutes to figure it out. And if you don't, you start that loop again. I think the
And
acting.
again, and again.
I think the acting is top notch, and it's very interesting. And not that I want to take work away from Troy Baker and all these guys, but like I would be really interested in seeing some more like big name actors come in and voice talent for games. Which again, this is not
That's
to take
nothing
away
new.
from Troy Baker, because listen, there were a lot of animation voice actors that got put out of work after they cast Robin Williams in Aladdin, and that was a whole
R.I.P.
thing. and they started to bring in these big name actors just to sell these movies, and a lot of these voice actors stopped getting work. So I don't want that to happen in the video game space, but I would like to see a little bit more of this and this kind of interactive storytelling. So tell me what you thought about it, Mr. Johnson. So I know you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
I feel like, what's up, Gerald Mac? I feel like the graphics should be way better because we're the generation that we're in. I felt like this was like PlayStation level.
You got to clarify that because there's a PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 1, bro. Okay. PlayStation 1 level. Okay. Maybe PlayStation 2. But it was big trash. For where we're at graphically, it was big trash. I was very much annoyed, but with the whole Groundhog Day thing.
Okay.
But maybe I got to keep playing it. But right now, it's just I'm
gonna stop you right there. It's basically a point and click adventure.
Yeah, you don't really do shit. I was like, man.
Yeah, it's just to get through the story, and one could argue maybe this would be better as a Telltale style game because they stay in that top down view the whole time. Yeah,
I need cut scenes and shit like that if it's like a story that I'm moving through. The graphics are too terrible.
Sounds like you should buy a PlayStation.
No.
Sorry, that's a gaming joke. I apologize. Okay, so So where are you right now? Where are you in this mystery?
The cop keeps knocking me the fuck out, or I keep ending up back in the room because I'm like, God damn it, bitch! I done told you. He's coming to kill you. The fuck?
Oh, man. Still would have listened, man.
I want to see him playing this game. I want to watch him playing the game.
We could take him if we tackle him together. The fuck is wrong with you?
That's right.
Yeah, so Gerald Mack has a point there. He says it's crazy. He saw the developer in an interview say a lot of people will be absolutely frustrated and a lot of people will be absolutely amazed by the game sounds. It sounds a bit divisive. I think it is. I think it's going to be hit or miss, and I think that's reflected in some of the reviews that you see because they're like really far apart. And if you're, I think if you think
about it, is they have top tier actors doing the voices.
I think if you didn't have those actors in there, there's no way this game.
No
works.
reason people would even check it out.
Okay, so Mr. K. Asante, tell us, give us your take.
So as you know, as I will preface it by saying I can't really give a real review right now because we all just kind of started. To your point, LeVar, about the graphics, I hear you, but two things. One, this is a singular developer who basically like set off to do this by himself based on interviews because he kept pitching the idea to other teams to do it, really do it.
Graphics then.
Yeah, he really wanted to do it, and nobody wanted to do his idea. So eventually he just did it himself. I actually think that that it's true that the graphics aren't great, but I think that's a feature, not a bug. They're not trying to wow you. They want the story to stand on. They want the whole thing to stand on the story alone, and not necessarily the graphics or the music or the this or the that. Because there are many components to a game. This one seems like it's all about that. It's about your perception and about that story. That's what it seems like so far. I think it's interesting. I can't really give it like a full review just yet. I was talking to Everborn a little bit. I've been trying to break the game, so I'm like I just started, just like you guys, but I've been doing some weird stuff here and there.
Because I was
no.
It's like, yo, what the F, man?
So basically, like for those who aren't aware, it is a time loop game as was described, but the thing that's weird about it is the puzzle is the right question to ask or the sequence in which you ask it, which will then open up new areas of dialogue to further ask, right? And I don't know, are we spoiling this? Are we like?
Yeah, we didn't get that far. How much can we spoil?
Yeah. So I'll tell you.
You still get your ass knocked out, right?
Yes, I'm still getting my ass knocked out. But let me tell you, okay, so I'm still getting my ass knocked out. But one thing I have discovered is if you flick the light switch twice, the second time you flick the light switch, whoever does dies. I've killed myself that way. I've killed my wife that way. I'm trying to kill the cop that way. Can't do that yet.
Yeah, if you second, the apartment, you die. If
you leave the apartment, it restarts. Yeah, there was another one
that you try to get up. to deal with.
Yes, when he locks you down, every time you
him.
speak or anything like that, he will automatically try to kill you or whatever.
If you convince him, like, damn,
if you convince him that you don't know anything, he'll go, okay, well, I don't need you no more. Dead. If he shows up and the woman's not there, either you killed her or you got her out the building or whatever, then he starts questioning you. That's the closest so far. I would say that's where I've gotten the most amount of details. When she's not there and he shows up and then he yokes you up and starts asking you questions, he starts asking you questions like as if you should know some of these things. So he says it in a way that goes, oh, stuff like, oh, the watch is very important. You know, if she sold it, we would know already. Like, who's we? You know, stuff like that. So it's
Pixelbit G.
What do we stop spoiling?
It. You further than us, Pixelbit G.
You showed up. You showed up here, man. We already told you we spoiling that Pixel.
Haven't even got past the first act.
I would say I have literally played it like 4 times. I've like died 4 times through and I've tried different things.
I've been through like 12 loops because I just keep trying everything.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to mentally like outsmart the thing. So I'm like, okay, so I figured out this is how you kill a person. So maybe I can get the cop to trigger the kill, and then he dies, and that's it. But I haven't been able to do it.
You understand how I could just kill a man because I can't kill that dude at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So listen,
yes.
man, you can't kill Willem Dafoe. But listen, Zophai says in regards to Groundhog's Day, have you played Hades? Me and Kay have played that. I don't think you played that.
Not a gamer like that, bro.
Yeah.
I like beat 'em ups. That's it.
Right. No, but you actually would like Hades. You should check it out. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's actually good. You might like that. Yes, and it's real easy to get into. Hard to
I
master.
just started playing the Black Panther update on, Avengers.
Oh, speaking of that
speak on it, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Speak on it.
So here's the thing, right? And I don't want to take your shine, but you put out a tweet about Black Panther and the voice actors and how they hired a dialect coach who happens to be a white woman to
just
train.
Happens to be. I'm not saying that's a problem.
To train non-African people to have African accents.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there's white Africans, Just saying.
Okay, let's not start that because they don't count, and I'll say that as an African, they don't count. Come at me.
Now listen.
What if they were born there?
Don't count.
I'm talking about historical information, bro. We're not talking about. We're not talking.
Do they call white Africans Caucasian Africans over there, like how they call us African Americans?
Bro, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. You're getting me down a path. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, Afrikaners.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's besides the point.
They call them colonizers.
Now, what I'm getting at though, is why do all of that when you could just hire African voice actors? Are they that hard to find?
But they don't hire Jamaican voice actors, Steve.
No, they don't. And I get mad at that. So I want to keep the same energy. Right? Now, I understand the live action thing, right? But this is a video, meaning Chadwick Boseman was the guy to do that.
No. But okay. I put the tweet out. Let me get my point clear because I think people may have misconstrued my point. Okay. Some people came at me with, "Oh, this is a fictitious African country. This is not real. We're not trying to sound like this or that." That is my point. Okay. The fact that it's not real is my point. You hired a bad voice coach because I can tell that the dude from Get Out is doing his natural Nigerian. He's originally Nigerian. He's British actor, but he's Nigerian, and I can hear it in his accent when he's doing it. Forrest Whitaker is doing a very terrible South African accent. The Black Panther bullshit. Chadwick Boseman was just plain bad. I'm sorry. He was just you get over it. You get over it right quick. My point is, if you want to hire a voice coach and have that voice coach create your fictitious accent, let it be one that they all follow. That it be one. Pick one, even if it's a magical one that doesn't exist. Let it be one. She didn't do that good a job, so I could pick them all out. I could pick the good ones. I could pick the bad ones. It was very distracting. And then they hired the same chick to do this, which is also terrible. It's terrible.
Okay. Now let me say what I was gonna say.
Please.
I think I understand in the live action movie they wanted to get these actors, these big names, whatever. It's an American movie, but
sure,
voice actors could have easily done the video game, right? If you say that, like, whatever reason we don't want to hire African actors because we want to get people that American audiences know, which is fucked up, but let's say we'll go with that. It is what it
is. Sure.
Right? Why do you if you're changing the voice actors for the video games, it's not like there are no good African voice actors, and it is not
I'll
like
I'll do you one better.
But it's not even like listen, call me out if you want. I'm sure their rates wouldn't be as high as the big names.
You're damn right. Their rates wouldn't be that high.
So what
see,
was the barrier?
I'll do you even one better. Screw the voice actors. Screw the voice actors. I will even go out on a limb and go, you know what? They couldn't find the voice actors. Chris Judge has a name. A bunch of the others have names, so they want to do that. Why hire the same terrible dialect coach that did the wrong job before? Okay, so you want to hire this like American actors to do the job? Sure. How about you hire an African dialect coach that knows how to bring off the aggressive from the throat words rather than all the bullshit that she's been feeding them? Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. That is where I get in my feels on it. It was bullshit in the movies, and it's bullshit in this game.
Now, I do want to talk about how you brought this up, being an African person yourself, and how the boo birds came at you. They came for your neck.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
My favorite. Place. My favorite one was what is it? What's the name? Lord of the Rings was had a dialect coach. What, they have to hire trolls to make it even? You know, because my question is, where are the Africans at?
Listen, Wakanda is in Africa. It could be a fake country all you want. It is in Africa. They're not that hard to find. So again, but this is how it happens, right? Because people are just so used to seeing one thing, it boggles their mind that you couldn't see an authentic person. And I'm like I said, I'm keeping the same energy because I felt exactly how you felt with Luke Cage. I was disgusted by season 2 and I couldn't watch it. Right?
I appreciate that.
And again, if you can do the accent, then cool. Because you're acting. And I'm not one of those people where like everybody has to play what they are because you're acting. Right?
No, yeah. Oh, and that's why when people started jumping on their high horse about the color of her skin, I'm like, look, I hear you. Okay, a quick aside to music. Eminem walked in the spot, people was clowning. The minute he opened his mouth, they said, "Here, sir, have a seat." If you're able to do what you're there for, we don't care what you look like, but you got to be able to do what you're there for. She didn't do it right, so now they're hiring her again for this role. For these actors, my question is, why are we hiring her back to do that when there are clearly others who could have done the job better?
Courtney is in the chat talking about season 2 of Luke Cage was awesome. I thought that was gonna say awful in the end, but it says awesome. Are you on drugs, sir?
I like season 2 of Luke Cage.
So for the record, I like season 2 as well. I didn't like the end of season 2.
African American.
I hear you on the accents thing because I was rubbed wrong as well when I heard that. But by and large, I didn't think season 2 fell off a cliff.
It was unforgivable. I couldn't watch it.
Just because of the accents, you get past it. I like seeing Luke Cage mix it up with somebody who had a similar power set. As opposed to
exactly. By and large, I liked the whole thing.
Even though I liked Cottonmouth
because you were stuck on the accents. You were stuck on the accents. I hear you. And you know me, whenever we talk Black Panther, I'm like, oh, don't get me started because I'm stuck on the accents. I hear you.
And listen, this is why I couldn't get into World of Warcraft. I know it's a fantasy world, but that World of Warcraft movie had a bunch of American people doing I don't know what. Yeah, and it didn't work at all. I mean, there's other reasons why it didn't work, but
Bushmaster was a better villain than Diamondback. You know, the dude who Luke Cage fought at the end of season 1. That dude with the flared nostrils and whatever, the bug eyes, like that dude was terrible.
I think Godfather Harlem right now. He's a pretty good character on that.
Mahershala Ali's character. What was his name?
Cottonmouth. The other one
Cottonmouth was the best character on that show. He was the best villain on that show. Yes.
Cottonmouth.
They should not have killed him off.
Cottonmouth was the best character.
They should have made him get powers. You know, they should have made him get powers and fight.
Anyway, but he's gonna be Blade now.
But he's gonna be Blade. Let's keep it moving.
Now, Courtney is saying
Star-Lord.
They should have hired an Ethiopian speech coach for Black Panther. He's a little biased because his go back.
Of course, and then I'll go. I'm sorry, sir, but they should have hired a West African person for the voice.
That's why you got the white lady.
There you go. No. But the reason why I say that is because most of them were doing various West African accents, but wrongly. So if you're gonna pick one, pick one.
No. But see, this is the problem. This is the problem, right? This is how it happens. This is life imitating art or art imitating life. The two Africans can't agree which way to go.
Oh no! I'm just clowning. I'm just clowning. I'm clowning.
All right.
There are many different dialects in Africa.
That's it.
In Ghana alone, there are 149. So that's not even a thing to be said. You know, there's many different. My final point on it is people that keep saying, "Oh, it's a fictitious place." I wanted it to be fictitious. I wanted it to be, it's not sounding like any one of them. But I could definitely hear, this one sounds like this one sounds like that. This one just sounds bad. You know what I'm saying?
So hold on. Now Courtney points out that if you look at the map, Wakanda is closer to Ethiopia.
It is closer to Ethiopia. I will concede that point, good sir. I will concede that point. Yes. And my point was just that there were too many different flavors of accents in one country. And the person who was responsible for that was the one they rehired. So she did it wrong the first time. Don't pay her back by hiring her again. That was bad. That was a bad look in my opinion.
All right.
But there you go.
Now moving on. I'm interested to check it out, but there's so many games. I'm sorry, there's so many no games that I don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I got so many no games to play. All right.
Indeed.
Anyway, what if season 2, speaking of Black Panther, I think the show has redeemed itself. I was lukewarm on it last week. I thought the last week's episode was just a rehash of Captain America. And this episode told so much story. Very nice. Told so much story in just 30 minutes that it felt like a full movie.
Yep.
And it further solidifies the point of how trash Peter Quill is.
Super trash.
At everything he did. This man T'Challa stopped the
snap. He stopped the snap, bro. None of it happened because of T'Challa.
Love and logic.
With love and logic, yes.
Peter Quill could have stopped
it. How about not?
When Peter
you know my favorite part of that whole show? Like 5 minutes in, not even 5 minutes in. As soon as he takes off his mask and the dude sees him and goes, "Oh my God, it's Star-Lord!" I'm like, "Yes, this is it." The complete opposite of what really happened.
Hold on 1 second.
In the bathroom.
One second, LeVar. Courtney, come back in about 30 minutes, or come back at 9 o'clock because we're gonna go.
Oh yes. Apologies. Yes. Apologies.
You should come back. As a matter of fact, watch it right now. We'll still be streaming when you're done, and then come back.
And please, if you haven't seen it, do not let us ruin it for you. This is worth watching it by yourself from jump. Don't let anybody ruin it for you. You got to go see it. So yes, continue.
Okay. All right. So LeVar, what were you saying? T'Challa.
T'Challa is just a better Star-Lord than Peter Quill ever was. I said that scene when Djimon Hounsou's character, what's his name in the Guardians movies, when he met him, that very much reminded me of when Eddie Murphy was in the football stadium and he went to the bathroom and then people
recognized him. He meets the dude. Yes. My king.
Like, no, that's not necessary. That's not necessary.
I remember that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It was. I mean, they could have got Djimon Hounsou. He's already in the MCU. That's why he couldn't be in.
No, they did Djimon Hounsou.
No, I'm saying they should have had Djimon Hounsou playing a role in Black Panther, just because he's actually African. But why would they do that?
They could have put Idris. They could have put Idris Elba on there because he's actually from Ghana. They could have put Peter Asante in there because he's also actually. But you know.
Hey, listen, they had John Kanai in there, so you know. Anyways,
it is what it is. Keep it moving.
But the point is, this guy was bringing balance to the galaxy and doing good. What did Peter Quill do his entire life? And they had the
same. So let me ask you a question.
They had the same Chief Yondu as
real quick, okay? A quick thought experiment. I understand where we're going as far as the storyline itself presents, and I enjoyed it and it was fun. I have a real question, a genuine question.
Yes.
Why did the writers of this show feel the need to clown Quill as much as I enjoyed them clowning Quill? I've always hated him as a character, but it seemed like this episode was like, oh yeah, we know that everybody hates Quill. Let's really make it official how much of a joke this guy is by showing how it should have been done.
A joke? Because what I think when they showed at the end of the episode, when he met his father, Ego, as a child, I feel like
it's going to turn
him out and he's going to be
They already said that. Like the Watcher already said that it might lead to the end of the world. Like meeting his dad.
But again, he's still terrible.
I want to know. I want to know why that is. Why do you guys think that is? From a character development perspective, why did they spend all this time building this guy up? Yeah, he's always been comic relief or whatever. But this episode seemed almost malicious in, let's clown this fool. Like,
no, I don't think so. I just think they're showing you how, but I mean, okay, let's be clear though. Like, Peter Quill grew up without a father. A lot of people grow up without fathers. But as a kid,
as did T'Challa.
I hear you. No, but there's a difference. Peter Quill never knew his father.
Sure. Right? He left his father when he was young. T'Challa did.
We don't know what sort of upbringing he had in Middle America, whatever.
He had a good middle-class upbringing, and he had uncles and aunts and all those people surrounding him. When he was in the room, when his mother died, he had other family member there. His uncle or something was there, had his arm around.
Just because you got uncles around, you don't mean like things are all rosy. What I'm saying
man,
is,
I'm a cool uncle. Your son loves me.
What I'm saying is T'Challa had the best teachers in the world for those first 13 years of his life.
Sure.
He has had all of that structure. He knows how to lead because that is what he was born and raised to do. So when he has that opportunity to lead, he will do that. So I don't want to give Peter Quill the smoke for how good T'Challa is.
I'm not even giving Peter Quill smoke. I'm just wondering why it is that the stewards of both characters have decided to throw Quill out with the bathwater. Clearly, that's what this says.
The way that T'Challa handled everything was different than how Quill handled it.
It's how Quill wanted to handle things.
He tried to steal it from himself and sell it.
Yeah,
like T'Challa was all about his team, and he's like, I've never moved alone. Peter kept trying to do alone. It's like eventually he teamed up with the Guardians, but at first he was just like for self. Peter is always a man of the. I mean, T'Challa's a man of the people.
Man of the people. Yeah, of course. No. I get that. I just find it surprising that, like, and of course that beginning scene really was meant with Djimon Hounsou was really meant to like remind you of the original scene where you saw Star-Lord, and how it went this time is clearly how Peter wanted it to go the first time when he saw it, and it definitely didn't go that well for him there. Since it went exactly this way, that's where it makes my mind go, like, whoever was sitting down writing this went, screw that that Peter Quill piece of, this is how it's supposed to be done. Let me show you how it's, that's how it felt.
Peter Quill was dead to me when he punched Thanos in the face instead of
and ruined the plan. Yes, when he ruined the plan. Yes. Speaking of Thanos, can we speak about Thanos real quick?
Yeah, and they got Josh Brolin, which was crazy.
Man, it was so brilliant. It was just so brilliant.
And that's the thing. The idea that they made a joke in the logic between like getting rid of half the people and him not realizing that was genocide. And they just kept running.
He just kept bringing it over and over and over. See, the flavor of this show, and I know the art style is different and all that, but just the flavor and the tone of this show actually kind of in a light way reminded me of the other show from DC, the one that you guys like so much. The damn it, I forget her name now.
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn show. Yeah. With all the characters you supposedly know, and now they're surprising. It's not as funny, no, because Harley's about the jokes. That's what they're there for, right? This was more, I thought more the feeling of, hey, look at this character who's this, ominous figure elsewhere. Look at him joining us telling jokes. Like, it was very kind of, I'd like to see more of this. This is weird, It was kind of cool.
Now, here's the thing. Can you guys at least appreciate what I was saying last week when you look at this episode? Where I said last week it was just a rehash of Captain America. I got nothing new. It felt like they were zooming through the plot. Do you see the difference in this episode?
But you do realize that this is also basically a rehash of the plot. It's just they combined two different movies instead of one. Different. Yeah.
Like T'Challa did everything different.
Everything was opposite because of his own mental state.
Peggy was like saying, not really, because she was better than Steve Adams.
Better fighting, sure.
Yeah, she was a better fighter.
She saved people he didn't save. All this stuff.
The whole way, like he just got frozen in ice. She was actually fighting some giant freaking tentacle monster. He didn't do none of that shit. I don't think he could have handled that by himself. That's Hulk level of handling shit.
Yeah. So I hear you, but I think it's probably because you're more familiar with the Captain America story, so you saw the parallels easier here. This one, yes, it's true, but you can tell your point is valid, but you can tell that they still started the same path. It's just think about it. Actually, it makes perfect sense if you think about it, right? You have Steve Rogers, who himself was an altruistic figure, right? And you have Captain Carter, who herself also is on the same line. So you wouldn't think that their decision-making processes would be that different. Whereas Quill, who's a douchebag and a half, and then you have T'Challa, who, as you can tell, was brought up royalty, had all the best schools or whatever until he left. There's no way that they would do exactly the same thing the same. So that's why, even though the story started the same, they diverged quickly. Whereas with Captain Carter, they kind of had the same beats because they are basically the same kind of good human.
Okay, let me add another arrow in your quiver against my argument, which is, since this is What If and it's about diverging timelines, perhaps it gets wilder and wilder as we go. It starts with this one thing, but the timeline is not really far veered off yet.
That's right.
But then it keeps even more, going off, more and more until we have something
the butterfly
completely
effect.
new by the end of it.
I can't wait.
Think about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Think about what just happened with Thanos, right? With that one move of putting T'Challa in place instead of Peter Quill, the whole snap just disappeared. All that just went away. Like, that never happened, which technically kind of means that Vision, didn't die. Like, in their world, taking that thought process to its conclusion, so much change with just adding T'Challa in there and switching.
I honestly, actually, go ahead, LeVar. I'll bring my
LeVar, please. Yeah, go ahead.
With the adding of T'Challa, what you did was just open up a whole nother can of worms, as I said earlier, with Peter Quill, because Ego is like a destroyer of worlds. So now that there's two, now he has his son. That was his whole plan. So they'll destroy the whole universe, maybe not just half.
So what you're saying now is there's a universe in which there's
a worse problem.
There's a universe in which now there's a Guardians of the Galaxy with T'Challa as the leader, and at the end of that movie, they'll be fighting Peter Quill.
Yes,
instead
Peter
of Ego.
Quill and Ego.
Yeah, or both. Yeah,
and I mean, yeah,
that's interesting. No, that's very interesting.
I can't wait for the what you call it, the episode with Killmonger. I want to see his.
Yes. Yeah, and what about the Collector? Is it the Collector? That was a Collector, right? That was called
the Collector. Yeah, they called him. Yeah, they released everybody and had them, kill his ass.
And Howard
the Duck, Yes, that's where I was going.
Howard the Duck. Seth Green.
Yes, I could tell as soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's Seth Green / the dude who's also on Mass Effect. I'm like, I recognize that voice, Yes, it was really well done. It was a good slide.
Listen, this episode was a 10 out of 10 for me, and like, you kind of get choked up at the end You know what I mean? With the acknowledgement of Chadwick at the end.
Yeah.
But if this is the last that we get of him, what a great send off.
I think
there's 4 episodes. Yeah. There are 4 episodes he's a part of.
Okay.
T'Challa has 4 episodes. Yes. Good. So we will see T'Challa's Star-Lord move further, unless maybe there's another what if that he's something else.
Everybody gets their singular episode, but then they're going to come together as a new type of Avengers / Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's awesome, man.
And I don't think these are all in separate universes. I think these are all the same universe. So I think I think Peggy, taking the super soldier serum, that is somehow, you know what I'm saying, dovetails into Yondu's crew picking up T'Challa instead of
and Yondu's a decent dude in this one versus like what he really is usually, so there's a lot of changes there.
Now that T'Challa's back with his father, he might be an even better Black Panther because he has all this Guardians of the Galaxy knowledge.
Yeah, but listen, they have Thanos on their side now, so maybe they need the Infinity Stones to go against Ego.
Hey man, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Indeed.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, do we know what next week's episode is?
Not at all. It's always like a surprise to me.
Yeah, not at all. I'm so excited for next week's episode.
I did see some picture that somebody posted with like Peggy Carter, at like Steve's deathbed. Like the similar scene, the mirror scene. So I don't know if that was coming up.
That is from Civil War. So who's Peggy going to be going up against?
Yeah. So they're going to revisit that situation and go even further in that direction. Interesting. I thought they'd go with different characters, but they might revisit the same ones.
I hope they bring back Taskmaster and make him a guy this time and do him justice.
God damn it. Okay. And what else do we have about this episode? I didn't think it was going to go that quick, but.
Oh no! I could vamp about this episode for hours on end.
Talk about it.
I watched it like
until 9 on this, so we got like 7 more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it twice, and every time you watch it, there's a little bit more to it. When he's running through the scene after he disses Howard the Duck, and all of a sudden the drums go. Oh yeah, the feels, baby, the feels, and. Because a quick aside, because I slandered the game as much as I did, I will say the music is on point. The minute that the drums kick in,
Ludwig Göransson.
Yes.
Like you can listen.
So on point.
Download the score.
The album. Yes, the soundtrack is so good. It is so good, and they use it here to, like, it's just a taste, but it's to great effect. Great effect. I loved it. I really did, and every time they show the Black Panther and Wakanda and all that, it seems they do it with such reverence. It's almost like, hey, when we first made this, we didn't know it was going to be the $1 billion franchise it is now, so it's time to start treating with the respect it deserves.
No. I disagree. I think from the Russo brothers introduced him in 2016 in Civil War. He had that reverence. You have to look at the camera angles they used. You have to look at the way they framed all his shots. Remember when he first jumped down when Winter Soldier was attacking, and then he kind of stood up like that as a larger than life figure?
It was down looking up. It was very much.
Right.
Yes, you're right.
They specifically used certain iconography to make him one of those sort of top tier. Above everyone else.
They saw that he was going to be like the next the big Black Hope, if it were as it were.
I was really like impressed at what they. By the way, I saw.
Had he not died, he was the one supposed to be the new leader of the Avengers, but now they got to switch it up.
I actually saw Civil War with the Russo brothers at a screening in New York, where I got to ask them questions afterwards. Yeah,
wow, that's awesome.
And I this is true, and LeVar can tell you this, and I'll look up the video one of these days. I asked them. I thanked them for not giving Tony and Steve's mom the same name.
That's you slandered even them. Amazing.
Even the Russo brothers.
Come on now. See, as people's monikers increase, yours will become the slanderer supreme soon enough. I see that happening. You're muted, sir.
What can I say?
Oh, I said fuck Zack Snyder.
Damn.
But no, that is a good statement. What did they say? Did they laugh at least?
They laughed. They
can't say anything to that. Like, come on, man. You're priming the pump at that point. That's real good.
But that is my favorite MCU moment.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Ask the Russo brothers that question.
That's real good.
All right. Oh, and another thing.
Should have asked them why they nerfed the Hulk.
But they didn't nerf the Hulk yet. They did not.
No, they hadn't done it yet. Yeah.
They hadn't done
it. Would have cursed them the fuck out. Like, how dare you?
Listen, what they did to the Hulk.
Got one job.
What they did
to make him redeem himself.
What they did to the Hulk is worse than what Zack Snyder did with that Martha shit. But anyway.
Speaking of the Hulk, I my claim to fame is I have many pictures with Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, that's what's up.
I got to meet me and before I forget the gentleman's name before he passed away. Like this was some years ago. Before he turns into the Hulk, what was his name? I forget his name. Bill Bixby. There you go. Yes, I have a picture.
I know my stuff.
Yes, I know his name. It just lost me. But continue.
Fun fact: a very close friend of mine, the actual Yabi from the previous iteration of On the Real, he met Mark Ruffalo. Right?
Oh wow, that's awesome!
In the bathroom, and he didn't wash his hands, and he tried to shake his hand.
Come on!
I'm just telling you what the experience was.
Never meet your heroes, man. Never meet your heroes. That's terrible. Come on.
Movie Made in America where he was
of course
the same thing, pissing or whatever, and he was like, "Ain't you gonna wash your hands?" He was like, "I wash my hands before I touch my dick." You see, maybe he does that.
Wasn't that Ving the one with Ving Rhames?
Ving Rhames,
yes.
All right.
Oh man,
we're right at 9:00. I think we can move on.
You guys are crazy, man.
Okay, so Shang-Chi happens to be a hit with the critics, and LeVar, I specifically picked this for you because you was talking about how you had no interest and the movie was going to be big trash, and it turns out. Everyone is saying that this movie it is high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings level high fantasy.
Paid reviews.
It is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, if the reviews are big, who's reviewing it? Who are the reviewers?
Paid reviewers.
No. The audiences. I hear the reviews. I will let LeVar please speak on it. My worry is that everybody's like, yay, just like they did with Mulan. It was big when it first came out. Oh my God, they finally did it.
The people who said Mulan was trash really like this movie. So I'm talking about.
No, I get that. I get that. The later reviews were more nuanced. I'm talking about the initial hit, which is what we're discussing here about Shang-Chi. The initial hit of Mulan was just as glowing now until China went, nah, player, this ain't it.
We're not talking about.
You plan on going to the theaters to see Shang-Chi?
I think that I will, but we're gonna rent out the theater. No, we're renting the theater.
Private I don't want anybody else's cooties, and make sure they sanitize it first.
Like a boss.
Like a boss, he says.
Did any of y'all hear anything about Awkwafina, the girl in it, in Shang-Chi, about the people talking about canceling her for mocking Black culture, her blackfishing and she in a bunch of things that she did, like TV shows and whatnot, where she talks with a black accent. And y'all see that?
There's a bunch of clips. There's a bunch of clips on Twitter about it.
And you was doing whatever, then they would talk all this crap about xenophobia, about us, mocking Asians if we started to talk with an Asian accent. So why is it okay whenever you mock Black people? Why is that
I hear you, LeVar. LeVar, I hear you. But this, and this is just my opinion. This is false outrage.
You could say the N-word.
This is false outrage on the part of the people who are outraged about it. Yes, they have right to say this because when the others do it, the same thing happens. Show them how to be better. Because yes, you can speak on it, but this is table stakes. It shouldn't be a thing. It really shouldn't.
But why is it when we Black we should just kumbaya and it's not a big thing, but everybody else is just like cancel them, get them the F out of here. But us, it's not that big of a deal when you disrespect us. Why is that?
Because I'll tell you why. Because the unfortunate nature. I'll tell you. No, it's not that we're too forgiving. It's the idea that the intelligent man always ends up being the one that ends up turning the other cheek, and that's the very nature of
it. And then just to get slapped another one. and that's why we keep getting slapped.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. I would say she needs. I don't think it's false outrage, right? I agree with OG TK Cole. I don't think she needs to be canceled for it, but she do need to stop that shit post haste and immediately.
Yeah. Right? And I guess I'm not saying it's false as in like there's no reason for it. I think it's calibrated too high.
And if this was if LeVar or you or me did that right now,
for sure, 100%.
All the stop the Asian hate 100% all over you, right?
100%.
So that
I'm not even going to do it even jokingly right now.
Well, but okay, but let's be clear here, though. Let's be clear here. What she's being accused of was the role calls for shucking and jiving. Let's just call it that. And they wanted her to do it, and she did. And there have been multiple instances of it. Even Neo GameSpark. Neo posted one of those where she's on a street corner and she's doing the card game and she's speaking in that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the one you're talking about. Yeah, where she's like she's you know that trope of you're playing the card game trying to fool people. You're talking smack while listen to my mouth while my hand does the eye movement while they're talking smack to you and they're doing it in a very black way. She did this. You can see the video for yourself. But I wouldn't solely be like, okay, we're canceling her because it's not her film. She is on the rise. Like, I hear you. None of this I'm saying is her. I'm saying you're like, she better know BS. Better. It's not. Bro, listen, when you're on the rise, you take what you can get. This is not Scarlett Johansson playing the Asian character in that movie. I forget the name of the movie. That's different. She had a choice there. This is and let me be clear. I am not the biggest Awkwafina fan. I think she plays the same character in whatever she does. So I'm not the one to be standing behind her on anything.
I keep saying if you don't like Awkwafina, watch The Farewell.
There's a whole anti-Asian crime bill, right? There's this yesterday this happened. It was some sports announcer for baseball. You know that Japanese player who's like the biggest thing in baseball if you keep up with sports. Like they were trying to strike him out. So the announcer said they need to be very careful, mocking like how Japanese people talk. Fire.
You sure that? Hold on. You sure that wasn't Elmer Fudd?
No. He's like,
no, the way you said
I know what I did it.
I was about to say that was very Elmer Fudd, man.
They need to be very careful. How he said, kind of like Bruce Lee, very careful. But that's what he did. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. That's what he did and fired.
Yeah, the thought behind it was clear. People knew what he was trying to do, and because of that, it was offensive, and they fired him. I don't think that's a problem. You're trying to be BS to the public. You're gonna get fired.
He's saying this guy is good. They need to be very careful. And that's all he did. But she's not supposed to get canceled. But he should be fired for Asians. Come on,
bro. Look, he chose his words. The other one is no. Listen, he specifically chose his words. He didn't have to say that. You're comparing that to an actress who gets paid to say the words as has been defined to her. Like. I hear you. I'm not saying that her getting that idea of and TK Cole about her making her whole career sound like black women. I've heard her sound like black women. I do hear you on that. That is a valid criticism. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not. All I'm saying is you can't compare an umpire or somebody choosing wrong words versus criticizing an actress who's there to say the word she's been hired to say.
It was an Asian accent. That's all he did.
Hold on a minute.
She did.
He said Awkwafina started off doing stand-up, which is true. And he said she's been trying to act black for a long time. So she chose.
And again, I am not saying any of that is wrong criticism. I'm not. But when you're there in that scene and there's the director and there's the writer and there's the second staff director, all of them have carte blanche to tell you how to sit, what to say, when to say it. They have they in that time, in that place, they are the ones that dictate what she says. So you can't blame her for that.
Here's the thing. However, she was casted for a reason, right? Because she's good at that.
You're right, OG.
Right? So the thing is, if she was cast for doing that, and that was in her that's in her routine, that is in her act, right? She chose her comedy routine. No director wrote
black
that.
people.
So
because
now,
she's been doing that.
Listen, there
are a bunch of Asian actors who do similar. You know, why is she the only one?
Right. Why do we get mocked? But if we do anything about it, we cancel. Why is it we always got to be forgiving? Why can we constantly be disrespected? Why is it you can say nigga, you can say shoot black people, you can say all of this, but if you say something against gays, Asian, or whatever, you're canceled. But disrespect black people all day. I'm not with that.
I don't think you can say the N-word anymore unless you're black, without getting canceled. But so because I'm just being fair here. What I really believe is that no, she shouldn't be canceled, but I think the same should apply.
I'm canceled.
Hold on a minute. That's cool.
Get out of here.
But I do think if we are going to say if the shoe was on the other foot, that me and you and the three of us would get canceled if we did the same thing, then she should be canceled. But if we're saying so what I believe is that, you know, everything's a case-by-case basis, and not all things are designed to be offensive. Some things are just jokes, and if you can't, you know, make a joke like
you want to hear a joke? That her name is Aquafina, and that name is Mad Black. Aquafina.
Right? So the very last point the OG just made there, I hear you, but I'm hoping. I want to disagree with you on that, because that's not where I want us to move forward. Just because that's the way it is doesn't mean that's the way we should be. As
Bible say eye for an eye, so I'm gonna shoot him in the eye.
That's but then we're both blind.
Oh well, we be some blind.
Oh well, he says.
But again, I think
it don't make us right, but it make us even.
I think there's something culturally to there's something about it culturally where we are always told to go high when they go low, and we are always told to get ours. Hold on a minute, LeVar, hold on, please. That we are always told we will get ours in the hereafter. We were always told to be better. We are always told to not. We got to deal with that. Nobody else would deal with these things. We got to deal with it.
Turn up the fire on that.
And constantly we get told it's different for you, and no one else would take those things.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, as long as you're gonna give black people smoke for doing stuff like that, then she should get the smoke. And I don't. Now that being said, I don't think anybody should get the smoke for stuff.
That's the point. That's it. It's the idea that, oh well, we should not be at the bottom of the barrel, but since we are, then screw it. You get yours too.
That's not what I'm saying.
Jokes gotta be funny.
What I'm saying is, do you right now believe she would be cool with a black person doing crazy stereotypical Asian bits?
So okay.
And
okay.
I
hear you.
I hear you. In the 90s,
your genuine question.
80s,
you have
it was different, but now in cancel culture time,
let's talk about 2021, all right? And this is me, genuine question, all right? I'm not trying to poke the bear or whatever. This is just me, taking that thought experiment, all right? And for the record, watch Fast and Furious 1, Asian characters in Fast and Furious 1. You could accuse this of all of them, because and that leads to my question, okay? It seems that some can argue that the people in general, although the culture is started by black people, I'm not denying that.
But I don't know how we got from Shang-Chi to this, but
let's get it.
Reels graphics. But go ahead.
We do need to get an offer of smack of the whole screen crazy. It seems that the culture of hip hop, because of that has that has brought certain cultures together, and Asians specifically tend to use that when accused of things like this. That it's not specifically the culture or the black culture that we are mimicking, but we are part of the hip hop culture, and with it come certain inalienable rights.
Okay, now LeVar.
That's the argument I've heard.
That's a terrible argument, but But LeVar, now, just because I like to stir the pot, Kay, here's a quiver for your arrow that will trigger LeVar. Why don't you have the same smoke for The Last Dragon?
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because the way.
By the way, I agree with you with everything you're saying. I'm just stirring the pot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's why. The Last Dragon, even though it played on stereotypes, it had the black people acting Asian. It had the Asians acting black. So it was everybody was making fun of everybody. So it's equal
and it's the 80s, really. So you can't really, you know, it's a different time. It's a different time. Yeah.
Like just like how All in the Family and the Jeffersons wouldn't fly now. Then that was okay. So,
and then they came for Soka. Nah, man.
No. But so
they ain't coming for you.
My point is, I think we should go back to the days, not the days, but where it can be accepted in the form of comedy of The Last Dragon and All in the Family and the Jeffersons. I think we are way too sensitive about stuff like this.
Yes. The Last Dragon was genius.
No, I hear you. I'm gonna let you finish.
I agree with that.
What I'm saying is we should go back to that, but I'm not going back to that first.
See, there you go. And I hear you.
Right there. Go ahead.
I hear you.
Wait, let LeVar,
I completely hear LeVar, please.
The Last Dragon was about being a melting pot and then all of us absorbing each other's cultures and learning from one another and then inclusiveness together.
Sure. So but you know, Asians, some Asian person can take offense to that, even though the message was clear, right? Somebody could take offense to it.
Everybody was teaching each other, you know, each other's cultures. Like, this is how we do it over here and whatever. It was about togetherness and acceptance.
But don't you understand, though, LeVar? I hear you, and I remember because that's one of my favorite movies, okay? And The Golden Child, for instance. Another one of my favorite movies, okay? I got the knife. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. But just like we can easily get offended when somebody plays these cards, so can Asians get offended at The Golden Child, at The Last Dragon, even though your explanation of it is very righteous, and I agree with your explanation of it. But someone whose culture that comes from can say, look at that.
What they talking about?
Just like, and that's where I'm going, because when you go there, they go there, and then you go there, and then they go there, and it's just a circle jerk to the bottom. Like Everborn is saying,
I don't give a shit what offends you.
Like Everborn is saying,
one at a time. One at a time, please. One at a time.
Like Everborn is saying, there are deeper issues that need to be back and forth debated. This stuff is jokes, and if we're ever going to get back to the time when jokes can be jokes. If we're ever going to get back to a time when jokes can just be jokes, then these things, somebody got to get off the ledge. Someone. I know you don't want it to be you. I get it. Because somebody got to be smart, and clearly it's not them.
Nah, man. Nah. I feel like we need to keep the same energy that they do with us.
So continue circle jerk to the bottom, because nobody will ever quit.
Nah, man.
Listen, again. All I am saying is, how many times do we, the people that look like the three of us here, how many times
they say we both lose our sight?
I'm done.
Go ahead. How many times have we worked?
How many times do we have to say, I'm going to be better? At what point? Because I feel like we are always so empathetic towards everybody else, and then when that empathy is time to turn back towards us, we got to look out for us. So we got to look out for everybody else and us.
All right, mission accomplished.
They want us to entertain and soak up all the sauce, but don't nobody be there for us.
On the racial reel is in full effect. Mission accomplished. Back to the movies and TV show.
I told you gotta have the off the rail graphic.
All right, so back, I'm going to bring this back, right?
Bring it back, y'all.
Simu
Bring
Liu,
it back now, y'all.
The actor playing Shang-Chi, right?
See, now you're going back to racist town again, Mitch.
No. Listen, this was part of the topic. We discussed this
before. True. Very true.
This is the segue, and it's a transition. Now, Simu Liu had some choice words for the Disney's new CEO, Bob Chapek, who no one seems to like.
Yeah. He's an unlikable character.
Because he's from Disney Parks too. No, Iger's gone. Iger's out of the picture.
Basically, Iger. That was Iger's like ugly friend who's there to make him look good, and now Iger's gone. So all there is just ugliness.
Yeah, Bob Chapek is the Jim Ryan of Disney.
Now, 100%. But Bill, like, oh my God, that is the greatest title ever. Wow. Okay.
Now, Bob Chapek said that they are going a theater-only release after Black Widow. They're not going to do Disney Premier Access. And, in the middle of this upcoming Delta variant, and then there's a Lambda variant coming right after that. They are the release of Shang-Chi being full marketing budget, full release plan, full rollout. The first big budget film since before the pandemic. This is an experiment, and we'll see what happens. Now, Simu Liu didn't like that, and he thought that it meant releasing a big budget Asian film is the experiment. Now, who wants to tackle this one first, LeVar or Kay? Kay, be my guest.
I think Simu Liu blew his load a little too early. Pause.
Okay.
I hear where he's coming from. I understand where he's coming from, but there's a very charitable reading of Mr. Chapek's words, and it's a very, you can easily see why he was saying what he was saying.
Wrong, fam.
I hear you, but he should have read the room. And by read the room, I meant Simu Liu should have read the room, because this was said during a financial call. It wasn't said to public consumption. It was during a financial
headline and then just ran with it
and just kept running. That's right. Simu Liu should have paid closer attention. Even though I don't want to be smacking Simu Liu on this, I want to be behind him because Chapek is a douche. We all know it. But in this instance,
being on the side of the establishment again.
No. I'm on the side of righteousness, player. And in this specific instance, Chapek said nothing wrong. What he meant by experiment was, what have they released during this pandemic? You know as well as I do. They have released second tier DC stuff in the pandemic, and when they do, they hedge their bets. Not only is it second tier stuff, they also release it day and date on Disney Plus. Yeah, they make you pay for it, but still it makes people not go to the theater, and rightfully so. I'm not going to the theater. Even now, I'm still having a hard time with Shang-Chi. I haven't decided yet, but that's neither here nor there. In the investor call, when he made this comment, it sounded odd, but now that people have seen it, and at least by their metric, it is like a stunning success, and it's top tier stuff. It makes sense that he said what he said. He's saying, here's the experiment. We have been up until now, right? During pandemic times, we've been throwing the lower tier stuff at the theaters, and we've also been hedging our bets. Now we're going to throw the top tier in the theater, and we're not going to hedge our bets. So that will be an interesting experiment, an interesting data point to show us how it does during the pandemic when we have that 45-day window. That's basically what he said. And in that context, it makes perfect sense. He's not trying to say that the Asian films are experiments or any of the... He was trying to be very monetary and analytical with his response to the financial audience that he was speaking to. But of course, Simu Liu was fashioning himself a revolutionary, but the bullets hadn't been fired yet, and he's already charging. In this instance, I stand with Chapek. Forgive me.
Wow.
I stand on the side of righteousness all the time. Even if it's righteousness being done by a nameless, faceless, billion-dollar money-making entity. It is what it is.
White is right, I guess.
Yeah, sure. White is right. Thank you. That's exactly what I just said. Yes, thank you.
All right, LeVar, go ahead. No, this is your slot. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Shang-Chi, the actor, he jumped.
Simu Liu.
Yeah, Simu Liu jumped to more conclusions than a jealous girlfriend. Like the way he made that reach right there, like what the hell was he thinking? Because it was clear, like we're in a pandemic. The experiment is, can we release movies clearly? I mean, straight to theaters alone for whatever the period of time is. That's the experiment. So for him to jump out the window like that, he bugging. And in my best, Chris Tucker impersonation, Somebody ain't gonna be in Shang-Chi 2. That's it. They might recast his ass. Shut the F up. Even Fahey was just there like, yeah, you know.
Hold on. That's just too much. No.
Hold on. I don't listen.
No.
I don't want to listen. I will leave this to you to expose yourself.
We weren't outing you, but you're outing yourself here, player. That's just not cool, man. Come on now.
Evil Empire, Warner loves all. How much were you paid for that, sir?
All I will say is, it sounds like someone whose bread is buttered by a certain the company that would say, I'm just going to let that one slide.
Anyway, sorry. That was
Continue.
He only has one good movie, and that's Suicide Squad. But
come on now. Continue. Stop the slanderous talk. Continue.
All right. Back to Simu Liu. I apologize for interrupting you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just jumping off of what Kay said, I'm just reiterating or rehashing that. Basically, he jumped out the window too early, and he's reaching. Like, you know, he's bugging the F out. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so I hate to be the one that agrees with everybody. after all of that smoke, of that smoke I gave you, Kay Sante, like really, like what do you first of all, this movie shouldn't come out in theaters. It should be on Disney Plus.
1,000%.
Now
the Delta and the Lambda variant.
I got if I want to see this thing, I got to spend $300 to rent out a non-IMAX theater. Right? How many people are going to do that? Or is Simu Liu like Christopher Nolan, who wants people to go out and risk their lives to go see I
don't think he fashioned himself a Christopher Nolan. He fashioned himself. He's more of a, when he saw himself, he didn't see himself as Christopher Nolan, because Christopher Nolan had some self-serving reasons for saying what he was saying. I think Simu Liu fashioned himself more a John Boyega kind of character. Revolution kind of character. I think that's what he was trying to go for.
I think he was trying to capitalize on the victim culture, and he was trying to do some clout chasing. That's all it was.
John Boyega. Although John Boyega struck when the iron was hot, and he was justified. This man's a little too premature.
No.
Right? They disrespected John Boyega in Star Wars.
That's right. And this guy is like, before they do, let me get out in front and be like, no, you ain't gonna do that. And everybody's like, nah, bro, you weren't.
I thought that was a part of something special, not some experiment. You don't shut the fuck up.
No, well, so here's the thing. Now, OG TK Cole says he's like Mr. Kay Asante. He's on the fence. He wants to see it, but he's scared it's going to be trash. And he loves the comic book series. So this is a deviation. This is as I understand it, because I watched everybody's out of the theater stuff. No spoilers, but just taking the temperature of the room. People are calling this top tier Marvel. Now, as it relates to the series, which is sort of James Bond meets, something kung fu kind of thing, right? It is not that, but it is something else. It is high level fantasy, and it is a 4-quadrant movie, and it builds upon itself. So they start out with sort of Jackie Chan style fight scenes, right? And then that builds to the wire fu, to the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff.
Also, it just gets more elaborate as it goes on.
It gets more green screen and fake.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, like Infinity War. But anyway, the thing is, what they're saying is the trailers don't even do it justice in terms of the level of action that you get. And I have heard respectable people say that this is the best
fighting choreography
that we've gotten since The Raid.
I heard that too. And that just that fills me with a lot of question marks, man. It fills me with question marks because The Raid is a very top tier thing to say.
But this is what I'm saying. So they're saying it plays. Listen, if you're into fantasy, and this is they're saying this is one of the best sort of fantasy movies in the past more than a decade, right?
Okay.
So it's high level fantasy. You have crazy kung fu that continues to build. You have family drama, and it also plays for the kids as well.
Let me ask you, where does the movie take place at?
It's all over the world. It's a globe-trotting thing.
Supposedly, it's globe-trotting. It like there's a lot of California, a lot of San Diego scenes.
Accents. Do they originate in China, with their American accents, perfect American accents, or are they from California or some shit?
Depends on where they are, but these are people that are back and forth to America. So
but he does make a point with that perfect English accent things. But that's Disney. What do you expect?
No. I'll say this. I bet you they hired Asian people and not Americans.
And not Americans who pretend to be Asians.
Yeah.
Not Americans pretending to be Asians.
Chinese, or some of them Japanese, or some of them, Filipino. Are they different types of Asians? Or are they all authentically from China?
I don't think that they are, and I think that may hurt it in China when they try to bring it over there.
Yes, it is. And actually, even like some other things that are going on with that show with the director, I think it was they were worried about Chinese audiences not liking it because he may have said something that was untoward towards the audience.
The same thing happened with
Mulan,
but she was actually against the Chinese government and
for
sorry, she was with the Chinese government and against the Uyghurs.
Against the Uyghurs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and again, China don't be playing, but we do.
Yep.
Because we all about the money.
That's it.
But that is neither here nor there. All right. So I say I have not seen the movie, so I can't vouch for it. But what I can say is that I was lukewarm on it.
I watch it on the bootleg.
I was lukewarm on it before, but I'm very excited, and I may rent out a theater to go see it. Although 45 days ain't that long, because the way this year been going past.
Maybe I'm not sure about that movie theater. I'm not sure.
Like Shang-Chi is not important of a character for me to go see it in the movies. I did not see Captain Marvel in the movies. I watched it on the bootleg. I did not see either Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, but
I watched it on the bootleg.
But how do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know they're not billing him to be a main member of the Avengers?
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Ant-Man is a main member of the Avengers. So
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm just saying I wouldn't risk myself in the middle of a pandemic to go see this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but what if it is better than Thor Ragnarok?
Well, then I'll know when I watch it on streaming bootleg.
Now, I do want to bring something up.
That don't take away from how good the movie is. I'm just saying I wouldn't spend money to go see it.
Because you don't know the character. Or any character you wouldn't go
I'm not that interested in seeing it in the theaters.
Okay.
I knew who Ant-Man was.
So what you're saying that if they did a Taskmaster movie where he was a man, you'd go see that in the middle of a pandemic?
If the trailer looked good. It's
okay, so this is not worth your risk, is what you're saying.
I was not familiar with the Guardians of the Galaxy at all. Like, I never read those comics. I wasn't even aware of their existence before that movie came out. But the music and the tone of it, it made me want to go see it.
I get you.
These things, the other movies that I didn't go see, the trailers didn't grab me enough for me to want to go see it in theaters. I watched them on bootleg or like however I saw it because I'm into comic book movies, but the trailers didn't grab me enough for me to want to go out and support it that way.
Okay,
Understood.
So one thing I want to bring up before we move on to the next thing is, again, TK Cole is on point. He says Green Knight is a must-see, and I 1,000. Oh, he says a must-not-see. No, buddy. Nobody. See, I was with you. We was here, and now we over there. No, I am.
You thought you was in league with them and intrigued with them, Steve?
The Green Knight is my most anticipated movie of the entire year. Forget about the Eternals, because
explain why.
I am into that kind of shit. I write fantasy fiction. This is an Arthurian tale, and they're trying to tell it as though they're taking it seriously. Right?
Okay.
They're taking it logically to they're taking the Arthurian myth to a logical conclusion. And
isn't that what they did with Hercules? They did that with Hercules and The Rock. Same thing. Very
different.
They took the legend and they made it real, and it was a terrible film.
No. But this is something different. Like,
okay,
I promise you, Like, watch the trailer again and tell me.
I've seen the trailer. I actually plan on watching the film, but your description of it there, taking ethereal legend and basically grounding it.
Playing, yes. That's what they're doing.
I've seen films where they've done that. They've taken the legend and they ground it, and it hasn't gone so well. I will reserve judgment.
Here's the difference. They have good actors this time.
that is cold.
Director.
Cold. Very cold.
And Courtney says he's waiting for Dune to flop. Right?
Oh. Are you gonna go see that in the theater?
Dune?
Yes.
No. HBO Max.
That is theater worthy.
If
I don't even think that worm will fit on your screen. That worm is too big for your screen.
I am going to see it at home out of spite because I don't like what Denis Villeneuve said.
Oh, okay, sure, okay. All right, I have a theater in the backyard. I'll set that up and do it there. Forget about it.
Now, again, I like the Green Knight looks like it's going to be crazy. So, I think that Shang-Chi is an experiment in that we don't know what this film can do, and I suspect it will flop in China. So now my ultimate
much
question
like Mulan did.
Yeah. Are we, but Mulan was trash. Are we past the days of the $1 billion movie? Does the $1 billion movie ever come back? That's a question for both of you and the chat.
I think so. I think the days of the $1 billion,
done,
like
son.
In the theater only, like everybody's going, it's the billion. I think that day is gone. I think so. But I think that Hollywood recognizes that, and that's why they're in this quick succession to diversify the portfolio. So while the theater itself is not getting as much money, they're still counting the cheese at home. I don't think that idea, as we've known it, that, box office hit $1 billion, all that. I honestly think that those days, just by the very nature of the world we live in today, we won't see that anytime soon. I don't know. Will we ever see that again? I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Just charge more for the movies. That's it. Charge like $35, $40. Make your money back somewhere.
That's a thing to the bottom. That's a circle to the bottom because more and more people will jump out the game if you do that.
Right. Now.
Not really. If you spending $20 per ticket to go to the movies, right? If I'm spending $40 and I'm gonna have my whole family here, 5 to 6 people, and I spend $40 on this new movie, that's not a lot to me because I would have spent way more money at the movie theater.
No, but that's the point. Like more people are going to do that. So even if the theaters force and if Shang-Chi flops, guess what? They're going right back to the premiere.
It's the experiment.
And that's what he meant by experiment. So now, but this is the thing. Even when, let's say we get through this COVID thing. Let's say we get through this COVID thing by sometime in 2022, right? Mm-hmm. And theaters are back open. But theaters, like the studios have already trained us on this 45-day window. See, before you didn't know how long it was going to take something. So you had that FOMO kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. I think now that people have that hard and fast date and these services would rather bring it to their these studios would rather bring it to their subscription services to keep people there. And they just say, we're going to appease the 45-day window. I think a lot of people are just going to wait the 45 days. Because if
I don't disagree with you.
This is what we do. Start selling physical copies of things for like $50, and then that be out for 45 days before you put it on any digital anything, and just sell physical copies. Like back when we used to buy CDs or whatever, just put out movies that.
The problem with that is the minute that one person buys that, it'll be all over the
there's a way for them to encrypt it. Just come up with some new technology.
It's the same thing if they do it digital, right? Like
it's cat and mouse, bro. Any bit of encryption that's ever been created can be broken. It's just about a matter of time and patience, Honestly, like what you're saying, the world has changed. And this idea of it's a false scarcity thing. that's always been in play in movies and everything else. Remember, this is Disney we're talking about. They were kings of the false scarcity, the vault, right? They were kings of that.
Now Nintendo's
and now
do that dumb shit.
And that's right. That's right.
A Saturday conversation.
That's a Saturday conversation. But yes, where we stand now, they have unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, they have shown their hand. They have trained the public that, that whole idea of false scarcity, yeah, we're showing you that it's false scarcity now. Because when it really mattered and we needed your money and there was no way for us to force you into the movie theaters, yeah, we gave you what you want. And now we kind of want to take it away. Good luck.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Disney,
it's not going to work.
No, Disney and Warner Media and Universal would rather have you go to their streaming service.
Yes, because the only thing they're doing right now is what Microsoft and Sony does to keep GameStop happy. They're just there because that's the old way of doing things. They don't want that. They want you to go straight to their streaming service because they get all of the money and they bypass a lot of the BS.
So now that they've got the theaters to agree to these 45-day windows,
they got no choice. What else are they going to do?
And now that Paramount legal stature is I can't remember. Just Paramount. There was a law because of Paramount Theaters back in the day where they actually said studios were not allowed to buy theaters, and now that law has been overturned.
It's gone now, right? Yeah.
And you could imagine one day a studio buying an AMC and just saying this is included in your subscription. Go see it where you want.
Yep, Netflix. I can see that.
So again, people like I said, the theater is what I like to call the poor man's opera. There's always a place for it, but I think more people are more comfortable with staying home now. And that 45-day window was the nail in the coffin.
What did I tell you when all of this started? We had this conversation weeks ago on this show. I said, mark my words, movie theaters are going the way of arcades. Can you find an arcade today? Sure you can. In any city, there's 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of them. They're there, specialty, people like them. But they're not what they used to be. They used to be on every corner, every block, because that was your only method of getting access.
Like comic book shops.
Exactly. I said this at the beginning when we had this when we were talking on this podcast and we were having this conversation about it's just during the pandemic when the WB news came out that they were going to release it day and date, and I was like, yo, mark my words, and it's still valid today. They're going to try and push people back to the theaters. It's not working. You've already allowed people.
They're trying to.
It's like we already tasted sweet watching movies in our drawers from our living room. Why should I go back to a theater?
No.
As OG says, movie theaters are about to be like record stores. Do they exist? Sure they do.
Very niche.
But very niche for the few and far between who are very adamant about keeping that there.
Right, and that this is the thing, and who's gonna own them is gonna be the studios, and they will use them as.
You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping, and unfortunately, this company went belly up because of the pandemic, and to me, that was a big loss. What's the name? The Alamo Drafthouse.
Yes.
I'm hoping that because movie viewing has become so ubiquitous and so convenient, as like movie viewing has become home consoles, right? So in order to get you back to the arcade, they have to offer you special things. That was Alamo Drafthouse, and then of course COVID kind of ruined them.
But I mean, Regal had the 4D things where the seats moved with the things.
Wasn't enough. Alamo was really
dinner. It's like a real
the whole deal. They even let you rent movies. There, it was a library of sorts.
Have you been to iPic? Because they went out of business also, and they are like Alamo Drafthouse, but way upscale. They bring you blankets. Although, like in the era of COVID, you can see why they went out of business. But
smallpox blankets.
They have straight up. It's not even like recliners there. They have straight up like beds and like real couches that you go and sit down on. And
there's a company. There's a company around. Stop it. Stop it. Let me see your mushroom shirt, sir. Come on.
It's a kind of movie now, bro.
There's a company around here that has something similar. They're really high end. You have the screens are extra high above us because the waitresses come in and serve you food, and the aisles are huge and all this. It's quite good.
Listen. When I got a couple of businesses because I'm building my way up like Monopoly, right?
Waitresses in French maid costumes.
When I get enough startup capital, because I'm telling you right now, drive-in theaters, shoot your shot. This is your time right now.
There are more drive-in theaters in Florida than almost anywhere in the United States. Did you know this? There are more drive-in theaters here where I live than almost anywhere in these United States. And I've actually used drive-in theaters. I missed drive-in theaters.
I got
in many states they've lost their drive-in theaters, and the COVID has reminded people why they should maybe bring them back.
No, but
watching a movie is outside is dope.
It is.
The problem is you got cars spewing all that gas. You got to drive down a Tesla like me. You know what I'm saying? Not doing nothing to the environment.
Here we go.
Listening to that car speakers.
Here we go.
Look, man, I would drop the keys on the table, but it's no keys. But listen, all right, now,
Lord, here we go.
All right, that's it. We can move on to the next thing. We're gonna be moving pretty quick here. That Eternals trailer.
We're going to talk about this, Steve.
That's the last topic of the night. We just want to go through this Eternals trailer that I know everybody saw. I was highly impressed and way more excited for Eternals than I have ever been since they introduced these trailers and started talking about they were making the movies. And you cannot tell me that this shit is not going to introduce the mutants. And to answer Pixelbit G, I'm a Model 3 driver, sir. The Model S looks too much like a regular car.
I'm trying to get the Y. I have car seats, man. Multiple car seats.
Well, what I want to do is when the lady's lease is up, I want to trade in the Model 3 for a Model Y, give that to her, and get the new Corvette C8, or I think it's C9, whatever the new Corvette is.
That's
for
electric?
me. It is not electric, but that is the last gas car I will ever buy.
Oh, that prices drop top shit?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
That T-top, baby.
Just don't get a motorcycle, Steve. Don't get
no motorcycle, just the Corvette.
Just in time for the midlife crisis. You know what it is. Come on now.
Look at. Hold on.
I hate Tesla drivers. Wow.
Look at this. Hate
Why are you mad because you don't have one? Not that I even have a driver's license.
No, OG, you missed the first message. He says he hates Tesla drivers.
He hates Tesla drivers. Then his next message is my wife has a Model 3.
You know, it's like that. Was that Al Bundy episode? Fine car Dodge ran over my wife with a Dodge. Get out of here, man.
No, I am 2.5 years into my Model 3 journey. Never once had to service it.
And this is the face of a person who's absolutely not jealous at all.
Ever made. But anyway, Eternals, we're getting off the rails.
Yes.
So Eternals.
What did you think? What did you think?
I thought it looked amazing. What is it? Zoe Chow? I can't. Okay, I'll look her name.
Yeah, Zoe Chow.
Zoe Chow. Okay.
Only person I can name it is Angelina Jolie. That's it.
Oh, you can't name Rob Stark?
I know Rob Stark.
You didn't even name Rob Stark.
I don't even know his name. I know his Rob Stark.
Don't worry about that. He was in The Bodyguard.
He was in The Bodyguard. Yes, good show.
Kit Harington. Yeah, he's in it. I think.
Yeah, it's Chloe Zhao.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. He said, TK Cole says, I think she loves her Tesla more than she loves me. TK Cole, we're gonna have to get you some. We're gonna have to get you some marriage counseling here. I don't know what's going on. That Tesla, man. All right.
Wow.
Oh man,
that's just painful.
Sucks to be you, man.
And guess what? That is why nobody drives my car but me. How about that?
Oh man, there you go.
So, to speak behind the wheel is when it's driving itself, and you got to be in the passenger seat. Like, don't touch.
To speak real quick to the Eternals, it's Chloe Zhao who's the director.
See, it's
Chloe
not Zhao.
Zhao.
See, you almost had me out here looking like Aquafina.
Hey man,
right.
I put the righteous answer in there. Chloe Zhao. Okay, keep it moving. And Richard Madden is in there. You know, Camille Nanjiani.
Yes.
So y'all hype for this?
I'm after this trailer. I am. I wasn't hype on it before. I thought this trailer looks amazing.
My thoughts.
We listen.
Who cares, bro? Like I'm not amazed by it at all.
I think you should just give up on the MCU. It's like
I was about to say, aren't you comic book guy?
Ain't coming back. Black Panther ain't coming back.
Yeah. I've gotten used to these people for 10 years.
No, but they gone. They gone, buddy.
No, so you're holding a torch for the old school? Like, get out of here! Yes, their contracts are too expensive. They've moved on.
No, hold on. I want to follow this thread because I think you need an intervention.
He makes a point.
Sir. No,
he makes a point.
He makes it, but listen to what his point is.
A lot of people feel the same way he does. I don't agree, but
hold on a minute.
I'm like, okay, what movie? Marvel
she got an Oscar.
Chloe's out. Well, Spider-Man, but does that really count as like in the MCU?
Hold on a minute, sir. You did not like Black Widow because you just saw Avengers, and this scope wasn't big enough for you because she don't got no superpowers.
Nah, it was also just dumb. It was also just a dumb.
Okay, movie. Cool. I get that, but that was your argument at the time. We could roll the tape.
It was just trash.
Okay,
but yes,
so now
the scope wasn't big enough.
So now, Shang-Chi, you don't like it because all of a sudden you don't like kung fu movies, even though it's big fantasy and all of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, come
like
on,
that.
man. That's a little bit. You're telling me you don't like kung fu movies?
I don't give a shit.
Okay,
you don't like kung fu movies?
No. He don't like kung fu movies. Cool.
I like Jackie Chan movies. I like Bruce Lee movies.
They have
I don't like all kung fu
Jackie
movies.
Chan. That's like how the movie starts
well,
out.
Unless Jackie Chan make a cameo. If Jackie Chan was a cameo in it, then I'd be all for it. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm seeing that shit.
Okay.
No,
so now,
come on.
So now he don't like kung fu movies, even though this has the bigger scope that he was missing from the other MCU movies. So now we get Eternals, who has all the scope of the Avengers, all over the world, super godlike beings.
Even the X-Men. This is very much X-Men.
And he's not rocking with it. I don't think, sir. I don't think you're gonna be happy with the MCU going forward. Because they're gonna introduce new characters. You can't go back.
When they introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four, I'll be all set. They just show me a bunch of B dudes that I don't give a shit about.
No. But you have to understand. You have to understand where the Eternals comes from, though. You have to understand where the Eternals comes from, though. Just like this was Feige's plan to take on the X-Men.
We should talk about that.
This was Feige's attempt at taking on the X-Men, but while he was developing it, Disney went and bought the X-Men. So now he's got to put it out, even though they were supposed to do battle. Like, this was going to be their, Fox has X-Men, well, we got the Eternals, and that we're better. But while he was producing it, while he was putting it together, somewhere along the line, they went, well, let's just buy the X-Men, and boom. Now it's kind of got no place. It's not really doing battle, you know. Even if it's a B storyline, I'm not saying they are, but even if they are, before the MCU did it to them, Iron Man was a know-nothing. He was a throwaway. All of the Guardians of the Galaxy were throwaway characters.
It's a character that I knew. There was always Iron Man cartoons and other shit like that. There was Avengers cartoons.
But LeVar, here's my question to you. LeVar, you're telling me that all those MCU movies that you love, because Black Widow notwithstanding, you like a lot of these You love a lot of these MCU movies. Am I mistaken? Without Black Widow. I said Black Widow notwithstanding, you like a lot of these MCU movies. Am I wrong?
Except for like Black Widow and Captain Marvel.
Okay, but out of 23 movies, that's a good record.
And I didn't like you just picked Thor either.
Okay, 23 movies. 23 movies, you've only picked 3 you don't like. So you like 20 of the 23.
I didn't like Iron Man 2 either.
Fine. Even still, 19. That's still a really big number. I guess the point I'm trying to make to you is all of these threads connect to Feige. So why don't you have a little trust that even though you don't know the Eternals, you might actually like it, because the person who's made 19 movies you've liked.
I'm not saying I won't like it. I'm just not hyped to see it based off the trailer.
See, this is the thing. I want to come back and revisit this after he has seen the movie.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to pull out the receipts because he's gonna be all about it.
I didn't say it's trash or it's gonna be trash. I'm just saying I'm not hyped to see it based off the trailer.
You said you don't care.
You kind of said it was trash 2 weeks ago.
Yes, you did.
But we're not gonna talk about that right now.
According to the trailer, if the trailer don't grab me, that's what I'm basing it on. When I see the movie, my opinion may change drastically. Mm-hmm. But based off the trailers, nothing in the trailers hyped me up to see.
He reserves the right to flip flop, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I can't tell you my opinion on something unless I've seen it. I'm just saying.
But you kind of gave your opinion already before you saw it
on the trailer. But I didn't say whatever. I'm just saying.
I'm giving you a hard time, big dog. Don't worry about it.
Now, LeVar, TK Cole says you're not a comic book head. I would argue that he is a comic book head, but he only read those high level characters.
So he's like a radio listener. He doesn't listen to the full album. He just listens to the radio cuts.
No. Like it's the thing is like, you know, when all I read now is independent comics. I don't read any Marvel stuff though. The only new Marvel thing I've read is Immortal Hulk.
I guarantee you, neither one of y'all read any Eternals comic books. Lie and say you did.
I never read one of them. I didn't.
I did. And you know why? How I did? Because I signed up a long time ago. They had a deal for like the unlimited.
Did you grow up reading them though?
No, definitely not. And the Eternals isn't a grew up reading it kind of thing. They just were recently released. That team isn't like from the 80s. But the team was not written way back when. They're not like X-Men. This is a new team. You know, just like Riri Williams is a relatively new team.
Cole, I'm sure you have. I'm just talking to people on the show.
No.
If y'all been about Eternals.
No. Yeah. I'm just going by the movies. And isn't Eternals a Jack Kirby thing or no?
Yes.
It is originally. They didn't. They really. It was originally a Jack Kirby thing, but they didn't give it its full run, like really give it its full run. Like they started it way back with Kirby, but it's one of those IPs that were kind of like dashed for a long time. They just re-released it and redid it in like, I think 2018, 2017. They just like basically picked up the IP off the floor after years. I suspect Feige was like, we're going to use these guys, so it's time to introduce them. You know, like I said, before Fox basically gave up to Disney, these guys were going to be their version of X-Men. So at some point, and this is me just speculating, but they had left the IP to collect dust for many, many, many years, and then all of a sudden they started writing it again, and it never really struck a chord, right? I suspect they were just introducing those characters for the new audience.
Are they going to? Do you think they're going to use the Eternals to introduce the X-Men? And I know it didn't happen like that in the comics. What I'm saying is, I've heard people speculate that they're going to try to say that what's his name? Jesus, why? Who's the guy from Marvel that looks like Apocalypse?
Thanos?
No.
Marvel. Who's the guy from Marvel that looks like Apocalypse?
Thanos.
I'm sorry, but he does look like Apocalypse. Yeah, Thanos looks like Apocalypse.
Okay.
And technically, Apocalypse is also from Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What am I talking about?
All right. Yes. Okay. I'm confusing Apocalypse with Darkseid.
But I said Darkseid.
You mean DC Marvel? Okay. Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm all messed up. Now
go ahead. Yes.
And I'm the one who's smoking, Steve.
I've heard people suggest that they're going to use the Eternals to bring in Apocalypse and use Apocalypse to bring in the X-Men.
That is an interesting place to go, and I would not.
What does the chat think about that? And what I want to hear what you got, but I want the chat to weigh in.
I would not dash that, except one key thing. The very last time normal end user audiences heard the word apocalypse, it was tied to a very bad movie, and it was not too long ago. They heard it
a bunch of times for Fantastic Four, but they bringing that back.
No. How long ago has Fantastic Four been in the public zeitgeist?
2015 was the last one. It was the latest one.
And when was the last time they heard apocalypse? 2018. like 2018. Like it's fresh in the mind, and
it
was a shit show of a film. It was a shit show. He looked like Ivan Ooze from the freaking Power Rangers. Like it was terrible.
Fantastic. But that was.
You think Feige will be like, screw it? You know, because we always criticize Spider-Man for reinventing themselves. Sony keeps giving us new Spider-Man. You know, I don't think they'll do Apocalypse so soon after Apocalypse has been on the.
I'm not saying you give like Apocalypse a movie, at least right now. I'm saying,
but like a character. Wasn't he Isaacs not too long ago? I forget his first name. Come on,
Oscar Isaacs.
Oscar Isaacs.
Who is going to play
Moon Knight?
Yes.
OG been doing his Google. He knows all about that. You know.
Nah, I don't think it's Google. I don't think it's Google for what you call it. He got the comics.
Yeah. OG knows what he knows, man. He got.
I could be Googling up facts right now and pretending like I know shit, but I'm just freestyling it.
You know, honestly, about the whole mutants entering the MCU thing, I hear you, and there are many threads that have been pulled and a lot of speculation on that part. I honestly think that just by the very nature of, hey, we have a multiverse now, that can justify a whole world full of mutants. Because it can easily do that. They can just open a world where mutants exist.
The mutants were there the whole time, and we just didn't focus on
it. But see, that's dumb.
He wanted to smoke. You said he'd get on cap. Like, he ain't faking the fuck.
Listen.
But that's dumb. Because even this Eternal stuff right now, they're asking that same question.
You know what? I'm inviting OG to
the smoke.
I'm inviting this man to this thing. We're going to see what's going to happen right now.
Oh, boy.
Just because. Your bluff is called, sir. Let's get this guy in here.
Oh boy, here we go. This is gonna be interesting.
Now you got your camera set up. All right, the invite has been sent, good sir.
Oh boy.
He said you get on camera right now.
All right, listen. Let's just say he works for the Distinguished Composition.
He's definitely a DC man.
We'll move swiftly along.
That man is in the pocket. Okay.
All
right. So he
said he don't see no invite.
Check Twitter. Check
your Twitter. Your Twitter DMs.
I can't send it in the live chat.
Nah.
Then this is gonna turn into a Spaces.
It's gonna turn into a video Spaces
where we spit false information confidently and curse people out who disagree with us.
And those who get disrespected just kind of take it.
Pause.
Indeed.
What are we doing?
Oh here, man.
Okay,
terrible.
So while we wait for the shill,
I will say real quick to answer the question, the statement that you made a little while ago about saying that they should say that the mutants have been there the whole time. Even the Eternals right now are catching that smoke from people going, "Oh yeah, why didn't you stop Thanos? Why didn't you do this?" I think that's what answered.
About.
That I think that's what.
Who's the big bad in Eternals? Is it like Galactus?
Well, I've seen
there is a bit of Galactus. There's a little bit of, like, if you saw the trailer, there's a Galactus kind of a look.
I thought the Black Knight was going to be the big bad, right?
This movie looks like it's basically an allegory for angels and demons. That's all it is. Like, the Eternals are the angels. If you look, all their power are all the same. They're all gold. They all wear white. Their arch nemesis are the deviants, who what's his name? Thanos is part deviant, and they're all dark and green and dark and purple, and it's angels versus demons. That's literally what this is.
Now, for those wondering, I would be showing the trailer now, but we learned this in the last iteration of this show that you cannot show movie trailers because those are copywritten, and I know people review them all the time, but you have to be an established movie reviewer, and they gotta let you allow that. And even then, you still might get caught up by the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right. So
you can show 5 and 10 second like clips of the video.
If you actually show a trailer, you'll get the DCMA, and then you have to go and email them and respond and say you are doing a movie review. but that will take days, and then you'll have a copyright strike until they remove that, because they'll see that you're doing a review, even though it's a trailer that they should want shared because it's free advertisement. It will get picked up. So it's not like the video game world where you could have gameplay playing. Nobody's gonna hit you with a copyright strike because that's interactive.
All you can do is just share a link in the description or something. That at most, so they can click away from it and come back.
You are stuck with our beautiful faces. Now, while we wait for Mr. TK Cole, unless he's too scared.
Oh, don't do that, man! Stop slandering this man.
We are going to move on to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
And the MCU is about to introduce Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, and of all places to introduce her, it is supposed to be in Wakanda forever, because why not?
Of all places, come on.
No,
when they said this, I was just like, duh. Why the hell didn't I think of that? What else would you introduce the only black Iron Man?
Yeah,
in the only black movie you're
work on her tech with Shuri?
No, but this is here. Is Riri Williams
like they're going to be best friends? If
they're going to be besties, and they're going to play that song like they have with Doja Cat. Now
it's my best friend.
I swear to God, if they play that in the theater, I'm walking out. All right, this man, the OG, TK Cole.
We hear you. We don't see you, but we hear you.
I'm trying to set it up. Hold on, man.
Oh no, please speak. It's cool. Yes,
that's convenient. You don't got the camera going, but it's okay.
Stop slandering the man before he has a chance to get in here. What's wrong with you?
Got to put on his powder and his makeup and shit, bro.
All right, so for me, I think that it feels a little bit disrespectful. Why does she have to be introduced? Does she come from Wakanda in the comics?
Bro, no, she's American. Her name is Riri Williams.
Then why is she being introduced in Wakanda forever?
Because the white people think that's the movie that most black people will be going to see.
I'm gonna blow your mind. And why it totally makes sense. Why it totally makes effing sense. Because do you remember at the end of Black Panther, the first one, when they built up the shit in the hood? They could have met her there. Like, she could have been working on technology when they was teaching people in the hood stuff.
Well, that's a good look, but the reason why that dashes that idea is the fact that they're keeping her backstory, and her backstory is that she's an MIT student that builds herself a suit. And unless they say the Wakanda outreach centers are all over the United States, including Boston,
they can do anything. They can
because remember, the outreach centers were in California.
But they put them.
That's
everywhere.
where they were.
They put them everywhere, though.
Yes,
that was just the first one. They put it where.
But Everborn, what you're saying, I do hear you, and there is a point to be made that they're basically kowtowing because they know that when are we going to get the blacks to come out? We're going to get them to come out when we bring out Black Panther 2. So we might as well also, at that point, he may have had some connection issues.
He's having some technical difficulties with the connection.
At that point, we might as well let them know that the other black hero is going to be available there. Right. Yeah, it's a little bit too on the nose, but that's the only options they got.
Hold on a second. Let's get him in here. All right, Mr. TK Cole, don't worry about the video.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We can hear you. Well, we could hear you.
No, he's on mute.
You got to turn on your mic.
Yeah, and click stop cam.
Yeah, make it easy.
Stop cam icon, and that'll help you if it's lagging. Because when it's trying to pump through video, that messes it up. So my thing is, like you said, why have that? Oh, he's going again. Why have that? Why bring that? Of all movies, you got to bring him in there.
But you know why?
Explain to you how.
But I did as well. You know why?
But that's a problem.
No, it's not. It makes business sense.
She's getting her own show. It might be in an after credit scene, Steve.
Okay, fine. I guess. But I mean, I'm not really.
They're giving her own show where you're going to get a whole bunch of backstory and like how it happened. But if they show her just the same way on this character that ended up on Falcon and Winter Soldier, she was supposed to be. I mean, she was originally supposed to be introduced in Black Widow, but just how it came out.
Well, but I hear you. But when he's
go
ahead.
All right,
go ahead,
Mr. TK Cole. What do we got here? Take yourself off mute if you can, so we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. There we go.
There we go. All right. I didn't want it to be. I'm still lagging for some reason.
Don't worry, we hear you perfectly. Don't worry.
Yeah, you coming through good.
Yeah.
So spit your bars, and then
I just wanted to let the brother know I'm 45 years old, and I've been collecting comic books since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like my father and my uncle started me off. Like my uncle and myself, I have a walk-in closet full of comic books, and my uncle has the same thing. Like I grew up wanting to be my uncle. I grew up wanting to be
exclusively.
Nah, I have Batman. I have everything. Like I have Batman. I should have never told him, man.
You see what he did? See what you did?
But
you can't give me ammo for the gun, man.
Oh man.
But I agree. I understand why he's taking the wait and see approach when it comes to the Eternals. So I get it.
Yeah.
I definitely understand where he's coming from.
It could be an Inhumans type situation, although Feige has a better track record.
It's like it's just certain comics I read growing up. It's like in the 90s, like that's when I started really collecting comic books. And it was more so because of the art. Once I started seeing like the Eric Larsons, the Todd McFarlanes, the Bob Liefelds, it was just like that. And that's what the era that I got into it. So
growing up, all I read was his old comic books.
Yeah. Gail Keown, the Incredible Hulk, Mark Silvestri, all of them, like they were rock stars to me. It's because like I used to draw, and it was more so the art than even the reading them, But that's what got me in the comics. I'm just not familiar with Eternals and these other and Shang-Chi and whatever. It's like I knew these other characters because they would jump in and out of these comic books, But
that's what got me into it too, the art. That's what got me into being from Brooklyn and, growing up in that era where graffiti was the thing. And then you see a lot, and then brothers started getting jobs in the comic field of being designers and stuff like that. It really turned me on. So now I'm like really into it because a lot of brothers and sisters are getting their just due in that comic book lane now, like Everborn. Like his stuff is amazing. His stuff is amazing, and I'm just happy to see that, man. I'm just happy to see a lot of brothers and sisters because for a long time coming up, man, it was like, yo, this is nerdy. This is nerdy. You don't want to do that, but I loved it. I've always, I like I tell my daughter all the time, you could be cool and nerdy at the same time. Being nerdy is cool.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
If I learned
Blurs is what they call them, bro. Black nerds. Blurs.
If I learned anything from Revenge of the Nerds, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna run the world.
Facts.
What did you?
It's to never say those things on camera because they're going to cancel you for it later.
I was going to say, like, that movie can never get made today, bro.
Yes. If you learned anything from that movie, it's to never say anything on camera. Never, because they're canceling for
Listen, don't get me started on Weird Science.
Oh, Lord. I love that movie.
Of all time.
One of my
Weird Science.
Okay, so Mr. TK Cole, I do want to ask you about this Riri Williams thing because I feel I have a problem that they got to use the movie with the darkies to introduce the next black character, right? So now tell me how you feel about them introducing Riri Williams in, of all movies, Wakanda Forever.
I don't like it. I don't like it because I think it's a cop-out. It's an easy way out. And it's I'm all about the pin game. That's the first thing I judge when I review a movie or look at a movie. Like I judge the pin game and then the editing. That's the second thing. And then
hold on 1 second. Like, I'm glad you said that, because I do not. Everybody pays attention to who the director is, and more people are starting to pay attention to who the cinematographer is. Right?
Yeah.
But the editor is one of the most important. That is the
most
difference
important
between a Razzie and an Oscar.
Facts.
Is the editor.
Facts.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. But
what's below a Razzie? What's below a Razzie?
I hear you on all of your point about, you know, with the writing and whatever, but the way they could do it, because Marvel doesn't do things exactly as they are in the comics, because they're trying to build a new Avengers. It makes sense to put her in that, to introduce her, and it will, like I said, it'll probably be in an after credit scene. Like, but
the meta information.
She could have been working on that herself, making her suit.
Yeah.
While she was learning things at these outreach centers that Black Panther put up all over the place.
Within the story, it makes perfect sense. No one's denying that, but the meta narrative is problematic. That's the problem here.
They're just trying to build them up as a team, and it'll probably
I get that, but you could have put this in. You could have put this in the Hawkeye show. You could have put this anywhere. Why do you have to put it in the Blackie show with the other Blackie? You know, it makes the meta narrative a little odd.
I mean, I don't see
one point, Navar.
Everybody has a point.
Give me 1 second. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't tie it to Wakanda. I'm saying you don't have to.
It doesn't have to be tied to Wakanda.
Yeah, you don't have to do it like, hey, Blackie, here's another Blackie for you. Like, it's too on the nose. It's too pandering. You know, you could have, just like they did introducing Florence Pugh in a different way. They could have easily introduced Riri Williams they could have introduced Riri Williams at the end of Loki for some reason, for whatever reason, right?
This is how I would rebut that point. Did Spider-Man get his red and blue costume from himself making it, or from Iron Man giving it to him? But they did that with him.
But you don't get that.
A Whitey with another Whitey?
No. But you don't understand. Listen. The reason why that makes no sense is because in the context of Spider-Man, he gets his costume from Tony Stark. Riri Williams makes her own.
All right.
Riri Williams makes her own, though.
He gets the red and blue costume from him, his original costume.
But Riri makes her own.
I don't like the making of the own.
Hold on a second. I think that is trash, and Spider-Man shouldn't get his costume from Iron Man.
No.
But you liked those movies, though, didn't you?
I don't like that idea.
I didn't like the idea because what that did.
At Everborn.com.
I agree with Everborn's take on this one, because what that did was it basically, like, it turned Iron Man into like Luke Skywalker. Everything heads right back to him. You know, anytime there's anything, it goes right back to, you know.
TK Cole, come in, and I want you to tell us what you know about the Riri Williams character in the first place, because I know nothing about her other than they say she's smarter than Tony.
Way smarter than Tony. She's what's dude from Fantastic Four, the leader,
Reed Richards.
She's Reed Richards smart. Like, she's back. No, I'm not even gonna do that, because he
said bat. You forgot where you are. You forgot the show you on, man. Cole, what you doing?
She's Reed Richards' son smart. Like, she's like top tier, and it's like that in the comic book as well. She's like that in the comic book as well. Yeah, Prodigy. Yep.
So how do you feel about how do you feel about Iron Man Jr.? And three, how do you feel about them introducing Riri Williams?
I think they could have introduced her I think they should have introduced her maybe in the closing credits, or they could have introduced.
That's what I'm saying.
They could have found a way to do it, like maybe at the end of Shang-Chi. Like, they could have tied it in. I don't think they necessarily.
Well, had they done Shang-Chi, there would have been like, one minority to another minority. Somebody would have had something to say. Just like we're saying now.
Black people, as opposed to a white, like surrounded by white people or whatever the fuck. It makes sense for them to do that.
It makes perfect business sense because they know that the African American audience will turn out for Black Panther 2 like they did for 1. So if there's a chance. If there's a chance for Riri Williams to catch on with the African American audiences, that's the only place that you should introduce her, because then there's a bigger chance that Black daughters, will be watching Black Panther 2 and will see Riri Williams. I think it's a good business decision, but it's a little bit too. It's too cheap.
It will probably only be.
It's a cheap pop. It's definitely, as they say in wrestling, it's a cheap.
Because let me explain to you this: because they have the show coming out. The biggest stage they can introduce her in is that. So if you put her in the after credits and it's like, oh,
let me tell you another thing.
See more Riri Williams in the Ironheart show, and it'll say that at the end of the movie.
Let me tell you something else. Riri has a close tie to Blade as well. Just for the record, I don't know if you guys know that.
I know nothing about the character.
Yeah, I'm mediocre on the character.
She has close ties to Blade as well. She makes some extraordinary weaponry for Blade in the comic book.
That's very interesting. Now,
so that could tell you Mahershala would probably be getting some things from what's the actress who's playing her? Like, I see her here. What's the name of this actress? Please continue. I'll tell you her name.
No. I mean, now tell me how you feel about
Dominique Thorne is her name. Continue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me how you feel about Kevin Feige's iteration of Spider-Man.
I know y'all might not agree. This is probably a hot take. I like his iteration of Spider-Man better than the old iterations of Spider-Man.
Don't bring up Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
I honestly like this version of Spider-Man better than
way tell better. Me why that is. Let me tell you why I prefer.
Because he's not 30 years old. That's why.
Wait, what was that for me or for TK Cole?
But that's why. It makes more sense. How do you have a bunch of 30-year-olds and I'm supposed to believe they're high school students?
Oh, but I mean,
that's one reason.
Tom Holland looks like he's 12.
But Tom Holland, he's the best Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But the best Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 2. That's it. That's the best Spider-Man movie.
Let me tell you my relationship with Spider-Man, other than having all the underwears as a kid and the toys.
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson.
For me,
I love J. Jonah Jameson.
There's no more perfect casting than
he's such a hater. I love him.
I started on Spider-Man reading around the 30th anniversary when he was already married to Mary Jane and had a job and wasn't a kid. So for me, Spider-Man is not really
as an adult.
I never looked at him as a kid. And I know a lot of people who read him at other times will say if you read
he's been a kid far longer than he's been an adult in the comics. Well, these days that may not be the case, but for a long time he was a kid.
He was like a kid for like 20 years.
For a long time. Yeah, he was a kid forever.
Yeah. Even in the show, he was like 30 years old.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I was reading all of LeVar's old comics, so
your takes are his takes. I get it.
I get what you guys saying. I get it.
Yeah. Right, so Spider-Man is supposed to have a hot actress wife,
but LeVar hit on something. LeVar hit on something that made sense though. In the cartoon, Spidey was older. He wasn't a teenager in the cartoon. He was a grown man,
and
he's a grown ass man. Yes, he was a photographer already.
A lot of people that come to the MCU and these X-Men movies, they didn't read the comics. They watched the X-Men cartoons and Batman the animated series and those Spider-Man cartoons. And they did really an Avengers shit in those cartoons back in the day. Remember when they gave Hulk the cartoon, Iron Man, all of that. So
She-Ra.
Yeah, right. So again, that's my own bias. I think why I can't get down with the Tom Holland. But even then, even if I could get past that bias, Spider-Man is the working man. He's the dude in the city or the young kid who can't get right. His life is always fucked up, but he's saving the city all the time, and he makes things work for himself. And because he represents the everyman, I don't think he should have this $1 billion costume that wasn't even made by him.
Oh boy!
Right. So that's my thing with
all the tech and all that shit.
He's projecting.
I don't think he needs all that.
Everyone's projecting. I ain't gonna say nothing.
No. I agree with you. Look, I always thought making Iron Man the focal point of everybody else was always
forgetting. Are we forgetting that Pete's a scientist and he's extra smart as well?
Yeah, why couldn't he make his own suit?
He did make his own suit.
He did. Iron Man gave him.
Not in the MCU.
Iron Man for that
himself.
Listen, I agree with you. I didn't like that because Pete is extra smart and he could have made his own. Yeah. And I think that was their way.
No, he didn't. LeVar, what you're saying is not. He just used the
he made that ocular tech where the freaking eyes zoomed and all that shit.
My issue is they made Iron Man bigger than he really was.
Well,
this is my problem.
Well, let me tell
Tony
you
Stark became too big for the MCU.
That was a Robert Downey Jr. thing.
No. Hold on a minute. The thing with Spider-Man, it made smart business sense what they did, right?
Facts.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
So why doesn't it make smart business sense for Riri, huh?
Well, I said it made smart business sense.
Sir. Let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
So the thing is, right? Like Kevin Feige knew that they're in a negotiation with Sony, right? Sony also knows that Spider-Man is Marvel's most profitable character.
And the minute they separate from Feige, that the next Spider-Man will be shit. They know that too.
But that is what Kevin Feige's holding over Sony. But what Kevin Feige made sure he did narratively, this is a business decision. Narratively, he said Spider-Man is not bigger than the MCU. And he wanted that in everyone's head who watched it. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's not really like to who the character is. They did that for a business decision.
For business reasons. And I respect, you're right.
I respect the gangster of that business decision.
That was his only business decision he could do.
Right? But as a lifelong Spider-Man fan, I don't. If you go with young, you go with old, whatever. Because whenever you came on reading Spider-Man, that's gonna be your Spider-Man. I
like both.
I can accept the kid Spider-Man, even though the older Spider-Man is my.
I like both. I like both,
which is cool, right? Now, what I don't like the idea of messing with narrative for business reasons.
Oh,
that bothers me a little bit.
Then you'll have a problem with the MCU because there's a lot of business decisions happening that messes with narrative. Riri Williams being one, like what you're describing here, that is a number one reason why they're doing that.
Riri Williams only exists because they were trying to
diversify their portfolio.
Yes.
Yep. That's why she's a new character. Yes.
And I think she has
just like Miss Marvel exists for that same purpose, but only for the Muslim community.
That is why Miles Morales was created. But I think Miles Morales has grown out.
He transcended.
The sort of the sort of exploitation part of it into his own thing, and this is why I think it's disrespect that he still has the name Spider-Man.
He should have a different name. Yes, we hear you.
But
they call him Miles Morales. Most people know him as Miles Morales.
Yeah, but he needs a superhero name.
You know,
that's all I'm saying. But anyway, I want to move on to this final topic, which is Netflix to release a new He-Man show.
A He-Man show
about He-Man.
Read your
I see it. I'm about to fix it. God damn it!
Indeed, they're finally doing He-Man with He-Man in it. Yeah, I'm sure that'll make some people happy.
Apparently, LeVar, this one's for you because I didn't know this. I thought there's no reason to be upset now. If you were mad about what Kevin Smith did, what Kevin Smith did was great, but it didn't focus on He-Man. And if you wanted He-Man, here's your He-Man show. But apparently, people are not happy with this. And the trailer got ratioed.
I like
it. Really?
And there are more dislikes. Go ahead.
Holy shit. Okay. When I first checked it, right? When I first sent it out this morning, and this was like an hour or two after it came out, the ratio was like 1,400 likes and 600 dislikes. Right now, it stands at 3,700 likes and 6,300 dislikes.
That's bots. That's bots.
Yeah, it's true. It's so disliked to likes to the point where they turned off the comments.
They turned off the comments.
Oh, that's terrible.
I hate
that's terrible. I hate Twitter sometimes, man.
I
hate social media. I hate it, man. I hate it so much. Man.
Well, hold on a minute. Now here's the tinfoil hat, right?
Mm-hmm. Niggas buy my own shit. Buy my own album, yo. Buy my own album. Why the hell do you care? Like, let things be for a new generation. They're trying to introduce it to kids. It's a kid's show. If you want the old shit, you can watch the old shit. You can watch the 2002 remake. You can watch Kevin Smith shit, or you can watch this. There will be more Masters of the Universe properties.
What about Dolph
Lundgren? Why you gotta hate on everything with so much vitriol?
Yeah, what about Dolph Lundgren's Master of the Universe? I love that movie.
I watch it because I'm a He-Man guy, but that movie was terrible. But
it was terrible, but it's so bad it's good. Come on, it was so good.
Better have Battle Cat. Exactly. He better be on a big orange, green tiger.
I agree with LeVar. I agree with LeVar on this, man. Like, come on, man. Like this is the way. First of all, animation is so much better than when we were kids. So much better. This is the way you give it to the kids. You got to spoon feed it.
Yes,
you got to give it to them.
Introduce it to a new generation and let them grow up with it. Let them.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
And then they will get older, and some of those people will
although
get into filmmaking, and then they will
I will push back
about it.
I will push back on one point. Okay. Mm-hmm. The image you see behind LeVar right now, right? That's not what we had. Not what we had when we were kids. Unless you were looking at the
early
art that came out, right?
This
the cartoons did not look like this in our mind's eye. In our mind's eye, it looked like this, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But here's the problem. Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
His vest wasn't like that.
I used to think that Final Fantasy VII and Tomb Raider had amazing graphics.
Sure.
They did.
I guess the point.
Kids? Yes.
True. I guess the point I'm trying to make is when you see this new He-Man trailer, it's missing world building. That's one thing that even the crappy version that we used to watch had. If He-Man, Skeletor, all of them weren't there, that world was still so interesting with half vegetation, half technology. The world itself was a character. This, and Everborn, I said this before, and Everborn gave me a really good point as to why. This is just all about the characters, and when they're not there, it's a blank screen. It's budget. It's budget He-Man.
I'm going to disagree with you on this because if you look at the opening, and I'm looking at it right now, I wish I could bring it on the screen. There's a lot of world building and big landscapes.
And yeah, I'm not saying that the world itself is not good.
In the trailer.
I'm not saying that the world itself is not good. It just maybe it's the difference between animation versus 3D, but it loses something.
You know what? I'm gonna risk it right now and try to bring this on the screen. We'll see what happens. All right, let's
talk all over it.
We'll see.
It loses something for me. I don't know, and I'm looking at it. It looks decent, but it just loses something for me.
Okay, look at this. Look at that big vista when you come in with the whole.
No, I get it. I see it. It's just I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're right, LeVar. Maybe it's just because it's not for me.
You're not going to get copyright strike because there's other stuff on the screen that's
we're talking over it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've gotten that before, but that may have been before Adpocalypse. So
so maybe things have changed now.
Yeah, but when we used to do this, we got taken down for having the Avengers trailer in the background.
Mm-hmm.
For you to say that it's budget, this looks like it costs more money than that original show did, because that was the most budget animation I've ever seen in life.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's budget as in, it's budget. They didn't put enough money into it. Clearly, the animation style is there. It just feels not as epic as the first one does.
Show.
The first one was also a kid's show.
The world building is there. But it's just so 3D, and I think everyone can attest to this. The 3D
loses something.
The 3D is in the camera. It's in your face.
Yeah,
the world building is behind because of the 3D. Look at the characters. Look how closer to the lens they are.
But this is
choice.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't like the look of He-Man at all. I think he looks like a moron. Like just the look of when he turns into He-Man.
I think they're giving it to the next generation. That's why.
Yeah,
but it's not.
And then again, let's be clear. I'm the guy who saw the newer renditions of X-Men, the newer renditions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and went, "Nah, this is not it. This is the same vibe I'm getting here." So clearly, it's not meant for me.
That's how it was with the new DuckTales cartoon when I saw it.
You see, and I love the new DuckTales cartoon, even though I love the old one.
I just love them. I don't like the new art style, but I understand it.
I love the new art style. For some reason, I dig the new art style. I don't know why.
Here's the thing. I don't know what
I'm
y'all
gonna watch
talking
the
about. This looks amazing. I'm sorry.
It does. I like it.
I don't know what you talking about.
I can't like everything. I just don't. I don't like the look of He-Man.
I feel like it'll grow on you.
I wouldn't want them to do G.I. Joe or the new Transformers like this though, because they're coming with a new.
I think they've done a Transformers they have done a version of Transformers like this, and it was terrible.
So
it's on Netflix.
So again, let me come back to my tinfoil hat theory.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Right?
Uh-huh.
What if the dislikes are from the SJWs of the world?
It's from the Kevin Smith side of the house. Yeah.
Yes, because they don't like the idea
100%.
that you have to do. No. I'm not talking about people that don't listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying, what if this is the Kevin Smith crowd that are trying to get back at the people who tried to downvote Kevin Smith's show? And
I don't think
this is the world of 2021 where we
no. I don't agree with that. This is not the level-headed people that Kevin Smith garnered, and now they're ratioing this.
No.
Time out. Not all of them are level-headed. Stop.
That's what I'm coming to.
Sure. I'll give you that for sure. I'll give you that. They're not all level-headed for sure.
That progressive bandwagon, it's a lot of loonies in there, man.
Indeed. You get no argument from me on that one for sure.
What if it is them that are actually downvoting this, not people that are looking at this and saying He-Man looks too cartoony?
And I was just about to say, let's read the trailer, let's read the comments and find out. They cancel the comments, so we can't do that, unfortunately.
So
you can go on Twitter and find out. Really
true. Well, but Twitter's a cesspool, man. Come on now, Twitter's a freaking cesspool.
The guy you posted to me the other day in his review of the Kevin He-Man, his review. Yes, he was so spot on, dog.
So spot on. Oh man,
Movie Bob is great. Like
he is so spot on.
You gotta subscribe to his channel. You'll learn a lot because he's so good in the culture and knows about all these things we're talking about and writes these crazy essays. But anyway, I got so we're gonna try these trailers. We'll see how this plays out. See if we get if anything
gets deleted after the fact.
Yeah. All right. So, what are we planning to watch this week? Because I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up. Mr. TK Cole, I want to start with you. You are the special guest, sir. What is in your queue to watch this week?
I'm going to. I think it's a couple of things. I'm going to give a taste to give a chance to watch. First, it's going to be the new what's his name? Matt Damon movie, Stillwater. I need to check that out.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to check out The Green Knight again because I was going through turmoil while I was trying to watch it, so I'm gonna check that out again. I'm also going to watch Don't Breathe 2.
Oh, that's out this week?
It came out already. It came out August 13th.
Oh, okay. You going to see it in the theater?
Hell no.
Okay.
I like that answer.
Hell no, man.
No.
Listen, man. Like these guys can do these. If I didn't have to come to Chicago this weekend, I would not. I would have been in the house, man. Like I would be my ass in the house. This pandemic got me scared, man. I'm actually more scared now than I was when it initially started, man. Because it's ridiculous.
I hear you.
Oh yeah, I just started working again. I just got another text today about more people catching the COVID in my damn job.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to check out.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
TK.
okay. My bad.
Do you see what I'm seeing on this screen? How could you not be hyped for this? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, he's crazy.
Don't worry, he'll change his tune when we watch it, because he will be watching this, as we all will be. Don't worry about that.
We'll see what Shang-Chi does. If it doesn't do crazy numbers, then I'll be watching that, on Disney.
Hey man, all right. I'm sorry for cutting you.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to catch up on Slasher.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the TV show Slasher.
I'm not.
Like I'm a TV buff, man. I'm a TV and movie buff, so I gotta catch up on the FBI Declassified. That's basically what I'll be watching.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Mr. Johnson, what are you going to be watching this week, sir? What
if, bro? That's it.
No TV until next week.
Oh, one more.
Man, I work every single day this week.
The new season of Titan.
Saturday and Sunday.
The new season
of
Titan.
Speak on it, brother man.
I haven't started it yet.
I gotta watch that. You're right. I'm gonna watch that. All 4 episodes of that.
HBO Max is the best. I recommend that you get it.
I bet you do, mother effer.
Here you go. Here you go.
All right. So for me, actually, TK.
Yes, sir.
No. I meant TK Zero Asante.
My bad.
Funny.
Funny. What are you watching?
This week, let's see. I actually have some stuff geared up. I too will be watching The Green Knight, and I kind of want to watch. I know there's a lot of ink has been spilled, a lot of blood has been shed in this Twitter streets, but
Heels show.
Heels, yes, you should watch Heels. I want to hear your review of it, because you're very much in that wrestling style. So you should have good points about it. I'm trying to watch The Green Knight and Snake Eyes this week. I want to watch Snake Eyes because it in the beginning it was like, it might outdo Shang-Chi, and then people went to see it and they went, nah, it ain't doing that.
I wanted to cry.
Every time somebody thinks something's gonna outdo an MCU movie,
I wanted to cry.
Exactly. Yes.
I wanted to cry.
You saw it?
Yeah, I wanted to cry. Like
you weren't down.
Man, I'm such a G.I. Joe stan. But I'm glad it sucked, because I always root for the bad guy. I'm a Destro and Shadow.
Yeah, that's why you're a Batman fan.
That's why you like Batman.
God, here we go.
See, you knew that was gonna go there, right?
You know Batman ain't my favorite character, right? You know Doctor Strange is my favorite.
Steve, don't act like you didn't love Batman when you was growing up, Steve.
Yeah, and then I read books and I learned
and then
about
you learned
white
the truth.
supremacy.
You know what's so crazy? Because he told you this, and so you become the bad guy,
Yeah, that's okay. Man.
But I'm a Doctor Strange guy.
I will ask everyone who hasn't watched any of the seasons of Titans, screw season 1 and 2, watch season 3. Start from the beginning, just watch season 3. I have so far enjoyed it very highly, and I'm looking forward to episode 4.
So we don't have to watch season 1 and 2.
By the way, Swamp Thing is coming back, guys.
Yeah?
Really?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to
that breaking news?
Season 1 was great.
Breaking news.
Season 1 was great. I don't know why the hell season 1 came out and then they let it sit. That was terrible.
Yeah, they tried to finish it up on the CW, which is trash station.
That's another problem. Yeah, you see, that's a trash station.
I can't say that out loud, but
so Cole, if you are the one who will be unique in helping me convince these people to give Superman and Lois a chance, because it's good. The problem is the station it's on. It wasn't created by CW.
Let me tell you
it just
something
ended
about
up there.
Let me tell you about the new Superman and Lois.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Before you say this, I want you to understand that you are compromised, sir. But go ahead.
No. I can be.
I'm compromised.
Listen, the one thing that I definitely love about Superman and Lois is how they really portray the Steel character that Shaquille O'Neal messed up. That's one thing.
Man, they did it, baby. They did it. No one wants to watch it. Oh,
and
man,
they did it. This is the Green Knight in the background, by the way.
Yeah, this is the Green Knight.
What's this? A movie?
Yeah, the Green Knight. Yeah, it's a movie.
They
did it, guys. Come on, y'all got to see Steel, man. They did it, but nobody wants to see it. Oh.
If anything,
they introduced Steel in what episodes? Episode 6.
No,
actually, you know what? Let me find it. Let me scroll through.
Right?
Well, he's introduced throughout the beginning of the season. Like, but when you really you have to see his arc. It has to get all the way and see it. You know, get where it needs to be.
Just for Steel, you should watch.
Just for Steel,
because a lot of people didn't get the fundamental understanding of what Steel actually can do and what he really is. Because Shaq really messed it. I don't know. I don't want to say Shaq messed it up, but the director that
in the show.
Did you see?
Do you know who Steel is already as a character?
I know who Steel is as a character. Yes, like when Superman got killed. Yes, I know Steel.
They took him as a character and they applied him to this world. And it'd be really cool to tell you why it's so awesome that he's here, but you need to see it. You need to see him get introduced. You need to see what got him there and his turn. It is so good. Like, man, it deserves so much more respect than anybody. CW is the worst thing that ever happened to the show because it should have stayed on HBO Max. It should have never come to CW. Thing,
Woel Parks does a really good job playing Steel too.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
he does. For sure.
Which is good. And earlier you guys were arguing about which had the better opening episode. Was it Green Arrow or Superman and Lois? It's Superman and Lois.
I agree.
It's definitely Superman and Lois. Green Arrow was trash until like it picked up speed. The beginning.
Green Arrow started this whole shit on the CW.
Oh yes, it did.
Doesn't mean that it wasn't trash though. Both can still be true. It did start the whole thing, and they started their own little mini universe.
A lot of type of dudes that don't want to give Blade credit for starting what we got today in the
comics. What are you talking about? Nobody says Blade doesn't get credit. What's wrong with you? Stop that.
You got to have
you have way too many conversations behind the scenes for you to say that to me.
Right? He's talking smack. He's talking smack right now. That's not a. Blade, that is not appropriate, sir.
Blade, and what's the dude that came after Blade? Michael Jai
Blank Man.
No, Michael Jai White. Spawn.
Oh my God, and Spawn. Spawn.
Spawn and Blade started this. We know.
All right.
Indeed.
All right. So just put some respect on Arrow's name. That's all I'm saying. Now, anyway. So this is gonna be So.
See, okay. Let me just say one thing before you continue, Everborn. One thing that I want to see if I can use to convince you to watch Superman and Lois.
He's gonna
You have given me a very righteous reason why you think Superman is a bad character, because he's a very Pollyanna character. He's a very he basically can swim through any
Mary Sue in comic
biggest Mary Sue. So what do you do to the comic book character with all the powers in the world? How do you disarm him? You make him a parent and you take his kids away.
You give him annoying ass kids that I don't want to see on screen. Let's save this for next week because the man LeVar has to go to work in the morning.
Understood.
So I
got one question for you guys before we go.
Last question. Yes.
Yeah.
Me and my wife been debating this since what's the name passed away and he can't play Black Panther anymore. Why didn't Disney just bring Eric Killmonger back?
I had said that shit.
They might still.
She disagrees.
They might still do that.
It is.
They might still
do that.
It is the MC Fate Death universe.
But
they put him in What If, so that tells you that they're at least thinking about it.
But he has mysteriously died in the comic books too, and they thought he was dead, and he came back.
Yeah.
Well, but think about it. They did just put him into What If, so clearly he's not a dead character. They're reusing him elsewhere. You know, there's still a chance he might come back. If he can come back in What If, like as an animated character, what says he can't come back in real life as a person from a different alternate universe? Can happen.
I'm not going to get into this. My answer is simple: that you should recast T'Challa. But we're not going to have that. We're not going to have that conversation tonight.
That's for another day.
Be a long conversation.
Yeah.
So for me, this is going to be an anime week because I need to do some research because I'm writing chapter 5 of Prince of Arcadia right now. Chapter 4 will be out later this month. But right now I'm doing Demon Slayer because I want to get up to the movie, and then I have to finish the heroic legend of Arslan, and I have to finish the final season of Attack on Titan. So those are all the things I'm watching this week.
Demon Slayer is amazing.
Much in the way of what is going on with my mouse. Okay. So this is all anime week for me. I will report back on those shows. I would like to do an anime focused episode one of these days. I got to get you guys to start watching some of this.
Demon Slayer is amazing. You're going to love Demon Slayer.
No, I mean, I'm halfway into it. It's no My Hero Academia. I said it. But we'll see. We'll see after I watch
season 1 of My Hero Academia is so whiny. The dude is just so goddamn whiny. I couldn't get past it. He's just so whiny. Anyway.
No. It's on Funimation right now, the movie. Dubbed. So if anybody wants to watch that. But anyway, everybody, we'll start with you, Mr. TK Cole. Tell the people where they can find you if you want to be found.
You can find me on Twitter.
In the Batcave. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
You can find me
with Barbara. What?
Oh my God!
Sleeping with your best friend's daughter.
Stop it! Continue, sir.
You can find me on Twitter. OG TK Cole is the same name, and I'm always up for a hot take. Always. I'm always.
He likes this show for a reason.
You should get in some Twitter Spaces.
Oh boy, no! Don't do yourself
hot trash takes. All right, Mr. Johnson. Where can they find you, sir?
LeVar F. Johnson on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on the YouTube, everywhere.
All right. LeVar already fell asleep. We'll get him out of here. Mr. TK Kirkland Zero Asante.
Stop it.
Where can people find you, sir?
TK Zero Asante on Twitter, Facebook. Well, I don't mess with Facebook these days, so don't bother looking for me there. Because if you're on Facebook, you need to switch
unless you log into your Oculus, but we're not going to talk about it today.
No, I'm one of the rare individuals who has an Oculus account before they forced Facebook, so I can still use my Oculus account. I can still use my Oculus account.
Operating in the darkness, but they got.
Needless to say, so this Saturday you will find us with the Gaming Circle podcast. This Saturday, we're actually I'm very hyped because we're going to have Mr. Gaming Forte himself to come and bless us with his presence. Last week we had Slow-Mo. This week we'll have Gaming Forte. Hopefully soon we'll bring it together and we'll have that cross-platform, podcast thing where we'll talk all slander all day. But for now, we're having them piece by piece. So Saturday's going to be fun.
Slow-Mo and K will be representing the PC.
There he go. There he go. And he's just upset that I'm a gamer.
Me and Forte, the civilized people, will be representing the console.
See, you do realize you're saying that right now on live air. So now I have a receipt. So when Forte starts going PCMR, you'll be all by yourself.
Oh no, that's fine.
Because his gaming rig is boss too. So don't even say that. I suspect you're gonna be hanging out by yourself.
He just bought an expensive ass PC though.
Yes, he did.
Just bought an old.
Yeah, I told you why I did that. I told you why I did that.
Everyone does that just to inoculate himself from the argument that he doesn't.
Exactly.
But you know what though? But PlayStation guys is good for that. They talk, oh yeah, the game's coming to PC. I ain't getting it. I'm gonna say that for another day.
Exactly.
Another day.
Come on the show Saturday. You can say that. All I'm saying is, I got the big PC, so when any of the PCMR dudes is like, PC got better graphics, and then I say, but do you have better graphics than me? But anyway,
that's a whataboutism right there, real quick.
But anyway,
Saturday, find us 10 a.m. Gaming Circle podcast. Gaming Forte will be with us. Those that know You know we're gonna have mad fun. So thank you guys who always check it out. And before you go here, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this man. Make sure that the Everborn Saga channel continues to thrive. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
And Mr. Everborn Saga yourself, where can people find you?
Fun fact. It's not only this show that's on this channel. Everything we do at Everborn, when we do an animation, when we do a trailer for a new comic, I'm going to start doing how-to videos for people that want to create their own comics, just so that they can get into this. That's all on this channel, and what it is designed for. This channel is about storytelling, right? And we do this show so we can have these conversations, but it is really about just trying to share my journey and my love for storytelling. Because guess what? People don't read no more, right? And you know, people's view of the world is shaped by the media they consume. So don't think all of this fantasy stuff means nothing. It is very important. Storytelling is what we used to do by the campfire, and it's going to shape our view of the world. So again, I take this stuff very seriously. It is my favorite thing. This is bigger than my passion for gaming and technology. So it's all of that. The Everborn Saga YouTube channel is all about storytelling, and there'll be more to do there. But also everbornsaga.com, where you can get these comics that I'm talking about. I like to call them Western mangas. And Everborn Saga everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, all that jazz. And every Monday, me and Kay Asante are on Primetime Gaming on Boom's channel. So that's it. Indeed. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Big Bad Mo. Thank you, Soy2 Mangs. I'm sure I butchered your name. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, OBM. Everybody from the chat. You guys,
OGTK Cole, thank you for jumping in here, man. This is great. We should be doing more of this stuff. This is awesome.
Yeah, you know? Man. And White Hawk and Hawaiian Guy and Gerald Mack and Azofi watching in the UK. I hope it's not too late for you. But thank you, everybody. And we are out of here.